One second. Eating. Ah, well, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're at. It's your old pal Grumps, the spaghetti eating, ravioli chomping Grumps. Well, no. Those who don't follow me on Twitter, my streaming computer is down. I am now on this little mini computer, which has as much power as a 1964 Volkswagen Beetle. 1968. Who knows when Volkswagen Beetles came out? I'm not 100% sure. That hasn't been properly maintained and hasn't had the oil change since the 1960s. So, I'm not sure how this week's streams. I mean, I'm supposed to get the parts for the streaming computer on Thursday. Hopefully early. Really, hopefully early. I don't know how much of an impact it will have on my streams because, quite frankly, I don't know if I can stream and play videos, to be honest with you. And this is like me testing things out type situation. But the main topic, I'm going to try this. I'm just going to see. So, okay, hold on. Next, on the server. Okay, there it is. There's me. I don't know if anybody's watching, because I'm not watching. It's a 32-minute video there. The Orion Saga. Apparently, I watched a little bit of this. That seems like to be the most recent information. But before we watch any videos, I kind of want to tell you what I want out of a Cyberpunk game. I want the ability to go, like, if they have Night City again as a backdrop, I want the ability to go to other cities, meaning that, they may start in Night City, but go to Chicago, whatever, Atlanta. No, just help us explore the wider cyberpunk world. I don't know exactly how that will work. Jesus Christ. But it would, open up the world just a little bit, and not open world game. Well, it was an open world game, but to have more of understanding of the whole cyberpunk world. I mean, have us go to Tokyo. That'd be interesting. But I like to, explore different cities in the cyberpunk world and lore. Because Night City was like the main character, from what I understand, where pretty much everything in the tabletop happened was in Night City. Now, in a video game, you can, expand upon that and show different aspects of it. I don't think V should come back, to be honest with you. I mean, other than maybe like him being V, the character from 2077 being mentioned. But other than that, I wouldn't want to have V come back because his story's sort of done. I mean, there's no real possible way for V to come back, to be honest with you. Because there's so many choices. I mean, one choice, he's dead. or actually, there's multiple ways for V, quote unquote, to be dead, and him now being Johnny Silverhand. But there's one way that he can be literally dead in the game. So I really wouldn't want to, because I want all the endings in Cyberpunk 2077 to matter. Okay, what I'm trying to say, let's not fuck it up like Mass Effect 3. Just saying. No, have the choice matter. Now, you could kind of mention it as like in a passing that V did this in Night City or something like that. But as far as like a cameo, no, nothing. I wouldn't even bring up Johnny Silverhands as bring like the character back. I wouldn't bring him back at all because it's too much of it lacks the ability to take 27/7 seriously, because if you do that, you kind of like going, everything you did in 27/7 doesn't really matter because we bring the character back. Hey, horse. Once again, V and Johnny Silverhands shouldn't come back. Shouldn't come back at all, because it invalidates 27/7. Now that you can mention them, but actually bringing those characters back, I wouldn't. You know. And if it's actually Cyberpunk 2099, which we don't know yet, we don't know the official title. We just know that the Cyberpunk is coming back. Depending on the length of time, it's like reasonable to assume that people die of natural causes, that kind of stuff. Or in the world of Cyberpunk, natural causes usually involves lead poisoning from a gun. But I wouldn't want V or Johnny Silverhands to come back. We can have now the interesting thing of some of the theories I've heard is Morgan Blackhand. Now this is a guy that's been around going over 100 years in the cyberpunk world. I mean, he can be like, and not have him come back like Johnny Silverhands, like on a biochip or anything like that. Just actually have him come back. And you can explain his longevity because it's the future, blood transfusions, all that shit. I heard theories about Morgan Blackhand. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I would want to play as an established character. I mean, he kind of did as Johnny Silverhands, but he was not the character. V was the character. He was you. I kind of want that. I don't want to be playing as an established character. Now, you can have Morgan Blackhand there as like a mentor or just something like that, or AI, if you wish, to kind of help guide your character. And you can you don't necessarily have to tie the next game into the previous one, to be honest with you, other than the settings. I mean, Militech, Arasaka, Asaka, the NUSA, all that, the corporations and the political stuff. You can have that come back, which is enough there that you don't need to have what from 2077 go over to 2099. You can have references to what happened in 2077, but not have it really part of the story, because I see 2077 as complete. Depending on how you look at the character, there's multiple endings that V rides up to the sunset. Depending on your choice, or your headcanon, if you wish, he's lived a ripe old age, or he died from the biochip. But you move on. Now, I don't want to go down the road of have the main character as a child of V, because that invalidates Judy, the Judy romance. All right, I don't want that either. Okay, I want, like I said, a new character that really has no ties to 27/7. Dismiss. That was my alarm to take my medicine, which I will do here in a minute. But I want. There's so much lore and interesting possibilities in the world of cyberpunk that you don't really need to have it tied into 2077. You can go a different route with it. I would like to see an update on cyberware and weapons. I mean, that's face facts. Majority of like weapons in, I'm talking about the guns in Cyberpunk, are kind of, bullets, that kind of thing. I mean, actually have lasers. I mean, there's got to be like something like to make it feel more futuristic. But you could do lasers in a cyberpunk world. I mean, one-shot laser gun or something like that, maybe, or an ultimate weapon. Because you saw it a few times in the extent in Phantom Liberty, you saw like lasers being used by robots. I would assume that, and I'll explain that later when I talk about a possibility of what happens when I get my streaming computer back up and I can play games again, where it could be actually an interesting situation. I will say this as far as like having who will be like the baddie, and I don't want a corporation again. I want a government, a government like the NUSA or like a foreign entity or something like that. Now there's been talks about like having AI as the villain. I think that's just too obvious, to be honest with you. I'd rather see like now you can have an AI involved, but I wouldn't have it necessarily as the villain. I would have it more as something that maybe you're trying to take down the Black Wall to release the unfettered AIs to go, because that's maybe the only way to save whatever world or take down a corporation, all that stuff. I will say that appeals to me, but I'm more interested in like you're as someone representing like the NUSA, and you're going against this corrupt government, whether it be a corrupt government official or just basically the corrupt government, and to set free, to start a revolution. But I'm not. No, that's just my personal take. I think that will be an interesting story. But also, they're using AIs against each other, and they're shackled, and they used to be free, and you also like helping the unshackle the AIs so they can have their freedom for whatever reason. But that's kind of like what I want to see. I want it. 2077, which I love 2077, was the story was very, very tight. It was very, very well told. Not saying there's more problems with it, but what I'm saying is the positives outweigh the negatives. Most people complain about there's not really a good happy ending to Cyberpunk. Well, it's Cyberpunk. You're not supposed to have happy endings. It's not Mass Effect, where you kind of like get really invested when playing the same character for 3 games, and you thinking that you're going to have children with whoever your love interest is. But it will be interesting, to say the least. That's kind of what I want. I want the scope of the story to be a little bit larger, and you have to go to like Tokyo or go to Washington, D.C., all that stuff, and explore other cities in the world of Cyberpunk. I know that's a lot to ask, because the way Cyberpunk was, Night City felt like a city. And when you start branching out to other cities, that decrease. To be able to explore all these other cities and all that stuff, you won't get that same experience as Night City would. I would no, I would add just maybe an additional city. Oh, and probably the best one to add as far as like Cyberpunk 2099 would be Tokyo. Be honest with you, because how Arasaka was such a big player in the world of Cyberpunk, I could see that happening. All right, that you have to go to Tokyo to finally take down Arasaka, or to unshackle the AIs. Now, I'm not against returning villains. No, you can have returning villains from Arasaka. You can also have like the return of President Myers, if she somehow is still president, which I wouldn't be surprised. But you know, I wouldn't be against that either. I'm just like, there's a lot of interesting ideas within Cyberpunk, and I've listened to a lot of lore videos of the Cyberpunk world in general. Wisefish, the Wisefish channel, which I'll pull up here in a little bit, has tons of lore videos about Cyberpunk. I highly recommend that, especially with another Cyberpunk game coming out that will give you just as many ideas as I have as what can make a interesting sequel to Cyberpunk. So what I'm kind of saying here, I kind of want to see Cyberpunk take the route of Dragon Age. You don't play the hero of the game; it's not the same hero in the previous game or same character, depending on how you look at it. But let's watch this. Cyberpunk 2 just got huge news. This was 3 weeks ago, and this is Balboa Insider. What a name of a channel. Okay. This is Balboa Insider, and let's see. This is may be stagnated a little bit.
For over 6 months since officially entering that phase in May 2025. With CD Projekt showing no urgency to rush into full production, this deliberate, methodical approach represents a fundamental shift in how the studio develops games, prioritizing foundation over speed, planning over promises, and sustainable development over crunch-driven deadlines. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the extended pre-production window for Cyberpunk 2 and its online mode's development, along with the creator Mike Pondsmith's involvement in the second game, and even the future of Cyberpunk beyond Cyberpunk 2.
Okay, Mike Pondsmith is the guy who wrote Cyberpunk for the tabletop. He still has control over it. In other words, he was smarter than the guy who created Witcher. He says, I have control of it. This is what you're allowed to use, and this is what you're not allowed to use. Okay? So he still has control. He, as compared to the guy that just sold all the rights to Witcher to CD Projekt Red. And now he's pissed because it's become very popular, because when he sold it to CD Projekt Red, Witcher wasn't a popular title, really. In other words, it was well known in CD Projekt Red. It's Ukraine, I think it is. I don't know if they're a Ukraine company. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they're a Ukraine company. Hopefully they're okay. I'm pretty sure they have moved their offices out of Ukraine. But I do say this. It was a very smart move on his part to keep... I'm sorry. That's what I want to do. Here we are. Can I just bring this? Okay, I just want the title of the name of the channel there. And I don't want the edge there. There we are. That looks good. It's very smart of his move. He gives them the permission to play in his world with certain aspects of his world. He gets to decide what can and cannot be used, bluntly. Other than that, let's watch some more.
But let's understand what's actually happening right now with Cyberpunk 2.
So it's being made in Boston. This is interesting. It's being made in America. America! Fuck yeah!
As pre-production for this game isn't just passive planning, it's actually intensive creative and technical architecture that determines whether a project succeeds or collapses under its own ambition. So what does Cyberpunk 2's pre-production phase involve? Well, it involves narrative and world design, where they're going to be establishing the core story, protagonists, character arcs, and how the new city and Night City function within the game's structure. Writers are guiding the narrative framework that will guide 4 years of content creation. It also involves technical prototyping, building functional prototypes in Unreal Engine 5 to test core gameplay systems, like how combat feels, traversal mechanics, RPG progression.
CD Projekt Red, I know you're never going to see this, but for the love of God, do quality control before you take this Poland. I'll look it up here in a little bit. I thought that for in the Ukraine, but well, I'll look up where this headquarters of CD Projekt Red is. But if for the love of God, do quality control before you release that game. Don't have it come out as glitchy as fuck. Because you better have learned your lesson when you release Cyberpunk 2077. Because even though I love that game, it works great. It's fucking fantastic now. If I would have gotten it on day of launch, I would be so fucking pissed. Just saying, I would be so fucking pissed. I really don't know what. Is this him? I think I need to get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. I don't know what the event list is. That's not what I wanted. Sorry. Like I said, this is on a small my pocket-sized computer. The computer is very tiny, so it doesn't have that much power. That's not what I want. Chat back. Okay, I don't have an alert one. All right, cancel. All right, I'll have to work on that. I just want something to let me know when there's a new subscriber, but I don't have it set up on this one. Anyway, was the chat box working? There it is. I don't know why that. Okay. I don't know why chat wasn't showing up. Fixed it, but all right. Guess these have to be in a certain order for it to work. Yeah, put that way down there. I don't think that needs to be first. All right. This is going to be like a scuff week, by the way. It's gonna take a little while. Because I haven't even tested how I sound. And by the way, give me feedback if I need to fix the audio, if I'm too soft or too loud, or whatever. I just need to, make adjustments as we go here. And then I'm gonna have to do it all again next week because I'm gonna have to new hard drive and all that, and gotta get OBS all set back up again. Fun. So I just gotta download all the fucking games from Steam again. All right, let's watch this more.
And critically, multiplayer infrastructure. These aren't polished demos, they're actually more like rough experiments proving concepts work before committing resources. This phase also involves pipeline establishment, creating the production pipeline.
Let me say something about multiplayer. God, I hope they don't do it. Keep this like a strict single player RPG. You don't need every fucking game to be a multiplayer. You don't need to have multiplayer in RPG games. When you start doing that, it loses something. Best case scenario I can tell you right now is Mass Effect, because they start tying the multiplayer into the story, which was a big fucking mistake because it pissed a lot of people off. You don't like to do online multiplayer. I don't like really doing online multiplayer within an RPG. Don't tie your multiplayers into your fucking story. Don't say the only way you can get good, the best ending, if you play multiplayer, because fuck that shit.
Projects move from concept to implementation. Teams collaborate across Boston, Vancouver, Warsaw, and multiplayer and single-player components integrate or remain separate in this case.
Hold on. Okay, hold on. I think that answers the question. Players. Okay. Right.
Components integrate or remain separate in this case. This
You said Warsaw. Warsaw
infrastructure
is
determines
Poland.
development efficiency for the next 4 years, as well as staffing strategy, as the Boston studio have actually already hired the senior leadership first, and now scaling to the mid and junior developers who execute on the framework veterans established, which is basically the team that will build the game. Also in this phase is engine mastery. This team has to learn the new capabilities of Unreal Engine 5, its limitations, its optimization for its massive open world RPG with multiplayer functionality. The Witcher 4 team is pioneering this work. Cyberpunk 2 benefits from those lessons while adapting for different gameplay needs. This phase typically takes 18 to 24 months for projects of Cyberpunk 2 scale, and CD Projekt Red has entered pre-production in May 2025 and plans to double the Boston team over the next 2 years, placing full production entry around late 2026, but more likely at the end of 2027, even into 2028. So why is Cyberpunk 2 utilizing extended pre-production? Well, not only does CD Projekt Red have the finances to fund this, they're actually learning from Cyberpunk 2077's mistake. Now, we all know how bad Cyberpunk was at launch, and they don't want to repeat the mistakes again. More critically, there was a planned multiplayer component which was going to be a standalone release.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do multiplayer. I mean, as far as like, there's nothing wrong with a co-op multiplayer. That's cool. That's fine. I'm all for that. Is it that far away from? I think that we'll look it up here in a minute. I like co-op, okay, but you don't see co-op anymore, really, as far as these quote unquote AAA games. What you typically see is PvP, no co-op. Why can't we have co-op? Both two players playing the same game. I mean, and like there was co-op in Halo. But don't have PvP. No, because it takes something out of it. It doesn't become an RPG. It becomes Fortnite. In all actuality, that's what it is. That's what a lot of online multiplayers are. It's fucking Fortnite. Do something different. No, don't be fucking Fortnite. Don't be COD. No, do co-op. Have two players cooperate to get through the story. That would be cool. Don't fall into the trap of every other fucking game that's out there. Co-op. Oh, you're going to try to kill the other player. Oh, fuck that shit.
For the game, which never got made because of this disaster. So this time around, not only are they working with a brand new engine which is optimized with a multiplayer infrastructure, they're actually planning all of this very early so they can build all these systems simultaneously, as one of the major problems for Cyberpunk 2077's online mode was that it was going to be tacked on post-release and was likely still in development, not really well planned. This time around, they have the team, they've got the technology, they've got the experience, and they have the huge ambition, not only with Cyberpunk, but even with The Witcher. And CD Projekt Red can't afford another launch like Cyberpunk 2077, as the company's reputation, stock price, and franchise viability suffered massive damage, but 2 years of post-launch fixes saved Cyberpunk 2077 along with the anime. That's not a repeatable strategy. So what about the creator of Cyberpunk himself, Mike Pondsmith? Well, it seems Mike Pondsmith's reduced hands-on involvement in Cyberpunk 2 compared to Cyberpunk 2077 reflects both his age, as he's 70 years old, and CDPR's evolved understanding of the Cyberpunk universe. Pondsmith's role.
I think that's a mistake. Pondsmith needs to be not 100% hands-on, but have veto power. Okay, because this is his world. He's the one that understands it the best. If not, they better be utilizing him as much as possible. Yeah, he's 70 years old, but if you've seen interviews with the guy, he is passionate about Cyberpunk. He knows that world inside and out. There's no better person to create this game than him. The guy who truly understands the world he creates. I would utilize him. I would pay him whatever amount of money, whatever percentage he want in perpetuity for his kids and everything, to keep him like, here we got this idea. Will this working within the framework of your world? He will say yes or no. That's the best thing. That would be the best thing for CD Projekt Red to do.
Inside Cyberpunk 2077 was that he was heavily involved throughout development. Listed in credits for lore consultation, he was embedded enough to course correct design decisions, like when the developers initially designed silver blaster-like sci-fi guns and Pondsmith had to explain, Cyberpunk guns are bigger, nasty, black, scary things which occasionally have little lights on them that watch you like eyes. But they are not science fiction. They are brutal things from where we are that have been basically kicked up 2 or 3 notches. He attended the Krakow studio to explain the concept directly to developers. The important part was everybody listened, Pondsmith emphasized. The team constantly asked, what do you think, throughout the development, ensuring alignment with his vision. So this time around with Cyberpunk 2, he's more consultative and less embedded in the development. He reviews scripts, provides feedback on environmental design and cyberware concepts, and ensures fidelity to Cyberpunk's universe. But he's not.
That's good. But, you know, once again, it'd be, don't fuck it up. Just saying, don't fuck it up.
Directing daily creative decisions. During a recent CD Projekt visit, Pondsmith described, last week I was wandering around talking to different departments and seeing what they had. Oh look, this is the new cyberware, what do you think? Oh yeah, that's pretty good, that works here. He spent significant time with the environment team reviewing the new city. I remember looking at it going, yeah, I understand that feel you're going for this, and this really does work. And it doesn't feel like Blade Runner, it feels like Chicago gone wrong. I said, yeah, I can see this working. Why did this work for Cyberpunk 2? CDPR's team now deeply understands the Cyberpunk universe after shipping the base game and Phantom Liberty expansion. They don't need constant guidance. They need validation and course correction. Pondsmith functions as quality assurance for tonal and lore consistency, not as creative director. People had asked me the entire time, what do you think? In fact, that still goes on now, Pondsmith explained. A good portion of the trip I've just taken out here to CD Projekt, people have been showing me what they're doing, they're showing me what's going to be happening in the new iteration of the game, showing me what's happening with, you know, some of the TV or radio, whatever stuff. They ask me all the time, so it means that we stay in the same space, we see the same outcomes. The consultative model respects Pondsmith's advancing age while leveraging his irreplaceable knowledge. He doesn't need to be in daily stand-up. He needs to review key creative decisions and flag when something violates the universe's fundamental principles. And we also know right now, currently, the priority.
This is it's very good to hear that he's, even though he's 70 years old, and I think Cyberpunk came out in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. It's been about 10 years, so he was about 60 years old and still can do the stuff that he needed to do to ensure that the game was being developed correctly. I'm getting fucking hiccups again. Well, I was eating. I was kind of eating kind of fast. But it's good news that he's still involved in protecting the world he created. And it's good to see that the studio is like utilizing him and respecting the fact he created this wonderful world that they play in, and they're trying to respect it, because there's a lot of AAA games out there that are based on licensed IPs, Star Wars, for example, or even Marvel games where they kind of like do their own thing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't work, it is fucking bad. But like I said, it's nice to hear that they truly respect him and respect the world that he created, which makes actually a really good game most of the time. Most of them don't fuck it up and try to shove it out the door as fast as they can.
is The Witcher 4 for CD Projekt, and that reality directly impacts Cyberpunk 2's timeline. Understanding why requires examining the studio's resource allocation and franchise strategy. Now, the current team distribution in Q3 2025 is The Witcher 4 has 447 developers in full production. Cyberpunk 2 has 135 developers in pre-production. Now, The Witcher 4 consumes triple Cyberpunk 2's headcount because it's in full production, a phase where hundreds of developers create final assets, implement systems, optimize performance, and build the actual shippable game. Cyberpunk 2's smaller team reflects pre-production is focused on planning and prototyping, not mass content creation. CDPR also stated the goal is delivering the Witcher trilogy within 6 years total, aggressive timeline that requires shorter development cycles than traditional AAA games. If The Witcher 4 releases in 2027, Witcher 5 will likely be in 2029 or 2031, and The Witcher 6 will be in 2031 to 2033. And although I don't see this happening at all, and it's likely that the next two Witcher games will release in 8 to 9 years after the first game's release, cadence is possible because they are using a shared engine. Unreal Engine 5 eliminates engine development time. They are using the same assets across the trilogy, which reduces art production overhead, establish the world and lore which requires less conceptual work, and lessons from The Witcher 4 development streamlined The Witcher 5 and 6. So the question is, could Cyberpunk also follow this model? Now, theoretically it could, but likely it won't for several critical reasons, as Cyberpunk 2 actually has a different studio structure. The Witcher trilogy will be developed primarily for CD Projekt's Warsaw and Krakow teams, have decades.
The main difference is Witcher 2 is actually, the IP is owned by CD Projekt Red. Like I said, the guy that wrote Witcher sold the rights to CD Projekt Red. Try to sue to get him back, but it's like, hey, we got the bill of sale right here, motherfucker. Tough shit. I grew up a lot of anime that had Cyberpunk as influence. Yeah. He brought up Blade Runner, which was actually, Blade Runner was like the first, you could say, IRL cyberpunk type movie. It didn't do well in the theaters. This was one of those things like people either got or didn't get. But the Japanese loved Blade Runner. That's why you all of a sudden, after Blade Runner came out, guess what someone started to do in Japan? Write Ghost in the Shell. It inspired a whole new genre of anime. That being said, once again, CD Projekt Red owns Witcher. They don't own Cyberpunk. It's a license. They license it. Okay, the creator of Cyberpunk owns it still, and he gets final say. If he doesn't like it, it's just not going to fucking happen. And hopefully, they're not saying that they're not going to release a Cyberpunk game until 2039 because, God, I'll be fucking old at that time. I don't think I'll be able to use a game controller. If I try to use a game controller, I'm going to have to use my feet. If I don't have arthritis in my feet at that time. But hopefully, it will be out with, I would say, with hopefully, I'll be honest, I'm kind of thinking like 2031 we'll probably see Cyberpunk come out, being released, or close to release. Hopefully not 2039, because goddamn, that's fucking over 13 years from now.
Of experience with fantasy RPGs and established Witcher development pipelines. Cyberpunk 2 is actually being built by the Boston studio, which is still scaling up with Vancouver and Warsaw support. This is a new team in a new location building a new multiplayer infrastructure. They're not positioned for rapid iteration yet. There's also the fact that this team is also building the multiplayer standalone component, and upon its release will also be supporting it with post-launch support. This will function like GTA Online. Persistent evolving online world requires ongoing live service support post-launch. That support diverts resources.
I think that's a mistake. I'm going to be honest about it. I think that's a mistake. I know they have, so many AAA companies have tried to do this online world thing, and it's a constant failure. And then when they try to shut it down because they can't commit the resources to support it, man, it just pisses people off. I know. And what is it? The online game that BioWare made. Fuck, I don't even remember the name. The support for it lasts for under a year. It was shut down under a year. Okay, and Destiny is being shut down slowly. No, you can't really play Halo online anymore, a co-op online anymore with no support. It's getting zero support from 343 Studios and Microsoft. There's a lot of online co-ops. They sit here and say, "Oh, we have a 20-year plan," and it lasts maybe at the max 2 years, 2 to 5 years. There's very rarely a AAA game commits that much resources to a open world PvP or PvE type game for 20 years. If they say 20 years, just realize they're blowing smoke up your ass. Like I said, I think this is a bad fucking idea. Concentrate on what you do good, what you're best at. Don't try to go down this rabbit hole of creating online worlds, because it's just a black pit. And if you don't, no one's yet to do it right, to be honest with you, because it always launches with a bunch of glitches. It's out of balance, and it just pisses people off, and they abandon it. Then you fix it, and no one gives a shit because they like, you fucked this over. Why should we go back there? Go back to Anthem. Yes, Anthem. Yeah. And so that was like, I think they supported that. I think maybe 6 months. After 6 months they started closing it down. That was a big fucking turd in the sand. All right.
From immediate sequel development, and the Boston team building multiplayer infrastructure suggests this component is substantial, not just a simple co-op mode. That scope doesn't lend itself to 2 years.
Don't fucking want that. I want Cyberpunk 2 to be pretty much Cyberpunk 2077 as far as gameplay. I want it to be a solo gameplay. I do not want it to be heavily reliant on multiplayer. I don't fucking want that. If it's that way, I just won't buy it. I won't. You know, I'm not interested in multiplayer in my RPGs. I'm interested in playing an RPG as a solo.
Sequel turnaround. There's also a different creative requirement. The new Witcher trilogy would seemingly follow Ciri in each game through a connected narrative arc across established locations. Cyberpunk structure is exploring different cities, different eras of the Cyberpunk timeline, different protagonist story, and requires much more conceptual work per game. But when does full production actually begin for Cyberpunk 2? While it's likely that full production will start in late 2027 or early 2028, CD Projekt Red plans to double the Boston team over the next 2 years from Q3 2025's announcement. That timeline extends through to Q3 2027. Teams don't scale to full size during pre-production. They scale entering or during full production when mass content creation begins. Also, as The Witcher 4 approaches completion, likely in 2027, some of its 447-person team will roll off to other projects. Key talent like directors, leads, senior designers may move to Cyberpunk 2 to bolster the Boston team or strengthen the Vancouver Warsaw support team. This resource shift naturally occurs when The Witcher 4 is done, but a lot of the team will also likely go straight to The Witcher 5. There's also a 4 to 5 production cycle. As co-CEO Michael Nowakowski stated, CD Projekt's journey from pre-production to final release takes 4 to 5 years on average. If pre-production began May 2025, extends through 2026, adding 4 to 5 years places release at 2030 to 2032. That 4 to 5 years.
That's fine. 2032, yeah, it'd be great. But all this talk about multiplayer really, it's disheartening to me, because yeah, it should be separate. If they want to do multiplayer, fine, have it separate. But at the base game, the whole game should be able to be played by a single player, All right. I mean, in my opinion, that's the way it should be. You're this character, and all of a sudden you found a clue. Now you have to go to this city. That's great. You know, uh, to me, that's kind of what I wanted. When I was talking earlier about what I want in the next Cyberpunk game, I do not want a game that requires me to have some other person online with me to play the game. Because at that point, in RPGs, it's not fun for me. I mean, I know it's fun for some people, a lot of people, and you still have that element, but don't make it a requirement. Mass Effect was that way. They had a requirement, a war asset, where if you don't play the multiplayer, you don't get enough war assets to get the quote unquote good ending. It was just impossible to do, and people were pissed. They didn't realize how many people didn't really want to play the multiplayer as a requirement. They just play it for fun. Or a lot of people. There's also a group of people. I don't know. I was like it was half and half. A lot. They didn't want the multiplayer to be. It was the solo players, the people who just play the game and never play multiplayer, didn't want to deal with that shit. They wanted to be able to play that game solo the way they played it for the last 2 other games. They didn't want all of a sudden, oh, I gotta play multiplayer to get the best ending. Fuck you.
It starts from production entry, not pre-production entry. Also, with the multiplayer infrastructure, the networking architecture, matchmaking systems, and server infrastructure being built now must be functional before full production begins. You can't create multiplayer content at scale without working multiplayer systems to build upon. These foundational systems need 12 to 18 plus months of development and testing, placing readiness in late 2026 to early 2027. But what does full production mean for Cyberpunk 2? Well, when Cyberpunk 2 enters full production, development fundamentally changes. The current 135-person team will grow to 300 to 400 developers. This influx includes environment artists creating the new city and expanded night city, character artists building NPCs, protagonist options and key characters, combat designers implementing and balancing gameplay systems, quest designers scripting missions, dialogue and branching narratives, technical artists optimizing performance and visual fidelity, QA testers identifying bugs and balancing issues, while multiplayer designers create online content separate from single player. There will also be dedicated teams, as multiplayer and single player will be in development simultaneously, and because the multiplayer is substantial according to the job listings, it requires dedicated teams working simultaneously on single player campaign and content, multiplayer systems, progression and activities, shared world elements, both modes utilized, integration and testing between components. Now, the parallel development is complex.
Don't fucking do it, please, CD Projekt Red. Don't do that. Don't make multiplayer essential part of the game. All right. I mean, you can have it like a co-op type situation. You don't have to do it, but you can do it, and you know, in a way where, oh, I'm going to stay in that city, you go to this other city. You can do that, where it's not an actual requirement for both people to go off to Tokyo, Chicago, whatever. But to have it so if you don't want to do co-op or online multiplayer, you can still do everything in the game as part of the story. That is, to me, truly the best way, because that way you're satisfying both fan bases. Your solo players, there are a lot of them. There's a lot of solo players. Yeah, Anthem's story was not good. Anthem just plain sucked all around. Well, I'll eventually maybe talk about it. I've never played Anthem, by the way. I had no interest in it. But you can satisfy the solo players where they can play the whole game, without requiring a co-op mode. If you force co-op upon a person that likes to play games as a solo, like me, I like playing RPGs as solo, to take in the full story all myself, and feel the weight of that story without having to deal with online co-op or multiplayer where you have to have like a party of 6 or whatever to complete the game, because at that point it's not fun. It's scheduling. You can say, okay, what day of the week? What day of the week are you available? What time? How long? And all that is annoying. You just want to sit down and play the fucking game. You don't want to have to like get a day planner out to play a fucking game. You know, you just want to be able to play the fucking game and complete it. I was like, oh, he didn't show up. I guess I can't play Cyberpunk 2. That would be fucking annoying. Just saying. Oh, you can just get someone else. No. Fuck off. You know, depends on the quote. Just say, it depends on the quote. But yeah, don't make a game where you have to literally schedule when you can play it. That would fucking suck. Oh, when are you available? What day of the week? We got like, this is like a 120-hour game. How long you can play? Oh, I can play for about 30 to 40 minutes. Fuck that shit. I mean, come on. God. Oh, you don't have to be online at the same time to play. Fuck you. No. I want to be part of the fucking game. Just come on, just fuck off with this bullshit. Co-op or multiplayer being part of the fucking story. As long as it's its own thing, fine. Let solo players be able to play the game fully without worrying about scheduling, how long people can play, all that bullshit. Just let solo players just play the fucking game.
It's expensive, but it's the only way to ship both components together or in close succession. Now, the current state of Cyberpunk 2 is that pre-production is progressing, and there is no urgency to rush it. There are 135 developers, primarily in Boston, with Vancouver and Warsaw support. It's in the pre-production phase at about 6 months in, with around 12 to 18 months remaining. It's actively recruiting to the team, prioritizing mid and entry level roles to complement senior leadership. Multiplayer infrastructure is being architected, narrative framework is being established, technical prototypes are being tested, and the public information about this title is minimal. There is no official release window, but a 2030 to 2032 release is likely based on the 4 to 5 year production cycle starting in 2026 to 2027. The CEO is happy with the progress, but it's too early to talk about entering any next stage or phase. So it seems Cyberpunk 2 is in a very healthy place. CD Projekt Red is very cautious with this project and wants to give it all the time it needs to really make an impact upon release, and it will be more like the game they promised with Cyberpunk 2077, along with a multiplayer component, which is likely going to make CD Projekt Red a ton of money if successful. Guys, let me know what you guys think about all these developments.
I mean, I know I've harped on the multiplayer thing. It's nice to hear that CD Projekt Red is taking their time. They're not trying to rush this thing out the door. It's been a mistake a lot of time, and hopefully they're smart enough to do quality assurance before they release a game, and don't be afraid to say, okay, we're gonna have to push it back for a couple years because we do not want to do a repeat of the mistakes we made in 2077 on launch. We want this game to come out the best way possible. Because I don't think any game company now can survive a fuck up on the scale of what CD Projekt Red did with Cyberpunk 2077. You can see a lot of AAA game studios that constantly were doing that. People just kind of walked away, and then when they pushed up the prices, everybody just hold up the middle fingers, go, fuck you. You couldn't put out a good game at 60. Now you want us to pay 80? Fuck you. Okay. You could put out working games at $60. What do you mean? What? Something's magically going to change if now we're paying 80? Blow me. I mean, think about it. What if they can't make a working game with minimal amount of glitches? Okay, I'm not going to say that games weren't glitch free when they came out prior to, well, most notably Anthem or Andromeda. That was a fucking joke. But the main thing here is to put out a quality game that will appeal to your loyal fan base that you have now because of Cyberpunk 27, and the loyal fan base of that was solo players. Now, people enjoy Cyberpunk 27 because you're V, all right? And people didn't really care about multiplayer in that game. I mean, yeah, they kind of wanted to see what multiplayer would be like but they don't want nobody, not even multiplayers, wanted to be an requirement as a part of the game itself. You know, they kind of like, no, when I want to play as a solo, I want to play as a solo. I don't want to have to sit there and, like, once again, schedule, get the calendar out, figure out the best time where people can play for 8 hours. I want to be able to sit down and play a fucking game without to worry about a scheduling conflict. You know? Don't ask us to do a whole bunch of fucking work to play a game. We play a game to, take our mind off of work. Not everybody's a fucking streamer. Just say, you know? Okay. That was from 3 weeks ago. Massive news. That's a month ago. I think what we just watched is the most current one that came out. That was 2 weeks ago? Is this the same one we just watched? Once is Balboa Insider again. Let me see real fast. Is this the same one we watched?
Now, CD Projekt Red isn't talking publicly much about Cyberpunk 2 as it is in pre-production, but their job listings are saying plenty. Between late 2025 and early 2026, the studio has been and will be continually posting dozens of positions for the Cyberpunk sequel, and reading between the lines reveals a surprising amount about what the game will be and what we might actually get to play. Now, the first thing that jumps out from these job listings is what kind of people CD Projekt Red is hiring. These aren't positions for environment artists or quest designers or the hundreds of developers who will eventually build Night City 2.0. Instead, at this stage, it's almost entirely senior leadership roles with titles like lead network engineer, lead narrative producer, and expert technical artist. This tells us something important. Cyberpunk 2 is still in what the industry calls pre-production, as they're not actually building the actual game yet, but rather building the tools, systems, and pipelines that will let you build a game efficiently later. Right now, around 135 people are working on Cyberpunk 2, and they're spending their time on things like animation pipelines, graphic rendering systems, and multiplayer networks.
But this is like similar to the previous video, so I'll move on. This is actually the guy who created Cyberpunk.
I spent a lot of time talking to one of the environment guys. He was explaining how the new place in Orion, because it's another city we visit, and Night City's still there. I remember looking at it and going, yeah, I understand the feel that you're going for this, and this really does work. And it doesn't feel like Blade Runner. It feels more like Chicago gone wrong. And I said, yeah, I can see, this working. I spent a lot of time.
So, it's the new city is going to be called Orion, which is interesting. I do kind of hope that they, Cyberpunk 2080 is going to be the next Cyber. Let's see what Keanu Reeves said.
We're huge fans of Cyberpunk. They've announced the sequel. Is that something that you would be interested in revisiting?
Absolutely. I'd love to play Johnny Silverhand again.
Can we not? All right. Keanu, you don't look good with a scruffy beard, by the way. Now, the trimmed down beard, that's cool. But the scruffy beard, not so much. All right. I mean, the two cities, yeah, that would be manageable, but, you know, yeah, Orion, yeah, I can understand that using an actual city like Tokyo, Chicago, or Washington, D.C. I get that. But is seven? What's that? Yes, Cyberpunk 2077 is worth playing right now. They're constantly making updates to it, and you know, it's getting a little bit more tougher on your computers, but it's no worth playing. Like I said, well, I really no. To understand that there's going to be Night City and Orion, it depends on when or where Orion's going to be. Maybe it'll be in a different country or like on the East Coast of America or whatever. I don't know. It's maybe I kind of like to go to. I actually like to go to like the base it into space. But hey, whatever. But once again, okay, someone just whacked my foot. I do kind of want to be more options available to us as far as exploring or places we go to. I do want the story to be tight because regardless of how Cyberpunk 2077 launched on launch day, with all the glitches and everybody said the same thing. The story was so good, they were upset that they couldn't play the game because the story was good. You know, but it's one of those things where the story has to be good. The story has to be tight. And the gameplay is important, but if the story sucks, it doesn't matter how good the gameplay is. If it's with an RPG, your story has to be on point. Because if the story sucks, nobody wants to play it. Andromeda. The gameplay is fantastic in Andromeda, but the story sucks. The story sucks in Andromeda, and nobody wants to play it because of the story. Because it's like, the dialogue and all that stuff. People are just like why? But the story has to be tight. Do not have co-op or multiplayer essential to to complete that game. Do not make the same mistake they made in Mass Effect 3. Do not do that shit. It's just a bad fucking idea. I'm telling you that right now. It's just a bad fucking idea. People are not going to put up with that. Just out of curiosity, do I sound good? Anybody want to let me know if I sound okay? Do I have to make adjustments? Tweak my microphone or anything like that? Because I had the settings on my streaming computer the way I wanted it. I haven't really fucked around with this thing that much. I just went, okay, we're just going to roll with it. Because I'm not planning on using this as long-term type thing. So let me know if my mic sounds okay. Whether you're here right now or in the comments, because I need to. If I need to make adjustments, let me know. And don't wait for a month from now, because a month from now I'll be back on my streaming setup. Now I'm sitting here and just fine tune everything prior to streaming, which is going to be so much fun. Oh, I love doing that. Well, you guys don't understand. I gotta put a lot of fucking work in. And why is Cyberpunk everything we know? Okay. Let's look at this real fast.
It is already known that Cyberpunk 2 is in development under the codename Orion. And for me, it's easily one of the games I'm most excited about. Not only because of its potential, but also because I'm genuinely curious to see where the story of this universe will go next. There's a lot of information out there, and many things to consider if we're going to talk seriously about the future of Cyberpunk. And in this video, I'll try to cover everything in a clear and grounded way. So if this topic interests you, get comfortable, leave a like, and subscribe for more content like this. Now let's begin. To give you some context, CD Projekt Red, both with The Witcher 4 and with Cyberpunk, has decided to leave behind its proprietary Reed engine and move entirely to Unreal Engine. As I've mentioned before, I'm not going to go too deep into the technical side here. The important takeaway is that this change allows their games to be developed and released in much shorter timeframes compared to sticking with their old engine. Leaving all that aside for a moment, let's get to what really matters. Part of the
just talking about the new engine real fast. Unreal is a popular one. I mean, they're making a new Mass Effect in Unreal, and not in Frostbite, because Frostbite was not designed for basically RPGs or basically heavy asset games. They were more designed for your looter shooters, your Fortnites, and that kind of shit. Unreal is basically your RPG engine, where you can do these heavily type of worlds where you have to have multiple assets and all that stuff. I'm not saying Fortnite doesn't have that, but you don't travel to a different fucking city in Fortnite that you require to have heavily designed as compared to an RPG. Excuse me. But the danger with switching engines is the learning curve, because that's what happened with Andromeda. EA forced BioWare to go from, I think they were using Unreal, to go to Frostbite when they had a majority of the assets already made in Unreal. Now they had to make them in a third of the time in Frostbite. And in turn, you got a glitchy, fucked up launch of a game, because the distributor don't know how to make a fucking game beyond the carbon copy sports games they make. So hopefully they're taking the time to make sure they can do it right and not produce Cyberpunk Andromeda 2. Okay, that's what all I'm saying.
studio has already been working on Cyberpunk 2, or whatever final name it ends up having, for some time now, and both official statements and reliable rumors point towards something truly ambitious. To start with, and arguably one of the most important points, Night City and the possible expansion to a second major location. Night City is without question the true protagonist of Cyberpunk 2077. Everything revolves around it, and the sheer level of detail.
I don't like it when they say that. I don't. I mean, Night City, it does have a personality to it. Okay, as protagonist, I would call the characters in Night City well, V is the protagonist. He's the main character, but the environment in Night City. How's the best way to put this? Night City has a personality where it's a sense of the level of corruption and the politics involved. The world is not the protagonist, it's the setting. And the setting's really good in Cyberpunk, where it feels real, that you can actually see it actually existing. Now, I wouldn't call it a protagonist. Okay, the protagonist is V. He's the one that shapes this world around him. The world doesn't. World did shape V, but after Johnny Silverhand and all that, he shapes the world now. He changes Night City. Night City doesn't change him.
Poured into bringing that city to life is a big part of why returning to Cyberpunk feels so special. For the sequel, everything indicates that Night City will return once again. We don't have a confirmed year or time frame, but its presence seems almost guaranteed. However, What really changes things is that Mike Pondsmith, the creator of the original Cyberpunk tabletop, has confirmed the inclusion of a second city, described as a Chicago that went wrong. According to established Cyberpunk lore, Chicago suffered a series of catastrophic events, economic collapse, corporate conflicts, and eventually a devastating biological plague linked to the Heartland virus. In Cyberpunk 2077 itself, you can already find in-world posters announcing the completion of a transcontinental maglev network that would connect Night City to Chicago by the year 2080. This small detail has led many analysts and fans to speculate that the sequel could be set around that period. That said, as I've mentioned before, nothing about...
Now, this would be interesting. Okay, Titanfall as a bad game. I've heard about Titanfall. But this would be interesting if they actually, this Orion, the new city Orion, is actually Chicago. By the way, I grew up in Chicago, in the suburbs of Chicago. So this would warm the cockles of my heart if this is actually true. But this would be interesting. Use the mag rail to go to from Night City to Orion or quote unquote Chicago. This would be interesting. I mean, I'm intrigued. Once they keep fucking multiplayer out of the goddamn main story.
About the timeline is officially confirmed yet. To help you visualize where this could go, the inclusion of Chicago opens the door for a much harsher and more brutalist aesthetic. While Night City represents excess, decadence, and the hyper-capitalist chaos of a so-called free city, Chicago would stand as a symbol of corporate reconstruction under the influence of the new United States of America and Militech. Knowing this, it's clear we're talking about something on a much larger scale than before. The possibility of traveling between cities alone would give the sequel a
well, granted, we haven't got there through my playthrough, which really, when we get there, you understand this if you haven't seen it yet. When I go through Phantom Liberty, I truly believe that AI and the new USA would be like the main antagonist in the next game. I truly believe that. But like I said, once you'll understand that if you haven't seen someone play through Phantom Liberty yet, when I play through Phantom Liberty, you will truly get the sense that that's probably going to be the antagonist of Cyberpunk 2080 or 2099, whatever it's going to be called. But we're going to just call it Cyberpunk 2 for now.
Completely new dimension. Personally, I see this as CD Projekt Red's opportunity to create a city with a very different identity from Night City, something closer to what they experimented with in Dogtown. Dogtown is still part of Night City, yes, but there's a clear design intention to separate it tonally and visually, and I think that same philosophy could be pushed much further with Chicago. Switching gears to the protagonist, another crucial pillar to consider, there's been some speculation about a possible trilogy centered around V. While I wouldn't be entirely...
And I'll be honest with you, I think that would be a mistake. I think like I said, I think they should do like a Dragon Age thing here. Be aware that V existed and what happened to him in a sense, or the myth of V, but I wouldn't have V come back because it's the way. It's depending on how you play the game. There's one way where he just dies. Or he becomes Johnny Silverhand. You know, I'm not really spoiling Cyberpunk 2077 for anybody. But the multiple endings makes it extremely difficult to bring V back. I would just let V stay V, wherever he's at. And just bring him up like as a Night City legend. You know, I would do that, but I would not have him come back as a playable character. I think it'd be extremely difficult to do it because there's spoiler. Okay, there will be a Johnny Silverhand V. There will be a V that can't have cyberware. And depending on your headcanon, there's a V that's only got maybe a month left to live. And have no Johnny Silverhand. You know. Okay. And or on the V that's fucking dead. Okay. No. That's why I say it's better off just having him as a Night City legend than having return as a protagonist, as the protagonist of the game. I think that's a much better thing to do. Just have a brand new protagonist and make them slightly different than V. Maybe he doesn't want to be a Night City legend. Maybe he's forced to do this stuff for whatever reason. And also not the same reason why V had to do it.
Entirely opposed to that idea. I honestly find it unlikely. V's story already reaches a strong conclusion in almost all endings. Yes, they're open-ended and often bleak, but that's the point. The arc closes in a way that reinforces the message the game is trying to convey. Bringing V back wouldn't be impossible, but it's also not something I would count on. If it did happen,
it'd be extremely difficult. I will say this. It would be extremely difficult. Because you got to satisfy all the endings, I'm just saying, you just have to satisfy all the endings. And that would be extremely difficult to do, to be honest with you. That's why I say it's going to be a new protagonist. It's got to be a new protagonist.
The story would probably revolve around finding a cure, potentially in Chicago, perhaps involving Stormtech, with V losing much of their cyberware to justify resetting gameplay progression. Still, if you ask me, I'd put my money on something new, either a predefined protagonist or a more customizable character. What I do think will remain is the choice between male and female protagonists. Now, while it's under...
Well, no shit. Okay, I'm sorry to this guy. Obviously, you don't be a male or female. I'm sorry. Or in the same options you had in Cyberpunk, okay? I don't think they're going to change that. Just saying.
Undeniable that Night City offers an incredible open world with animations that still feel shockingly realistic. There is one aspect that could be improved. NPC interaction is fairly limited, and while that doesn't personally bother me too much, I do think it's an area where the sequel could evolve significantly. Making the world feel more reactive and interactive would push immersion even further. One aspect that I think deserves a lot more attention, and that could really define Cyberpunk 2, is how CD Projekt Red handles player choice and consequence on a systemic level. Cyberpunk 2077 already laid a solid foundation here, but it often felt more narrative-driven than mechanically reactive. Choices mattered emotionally.
This is the problem here, okay? I believe a narrative-driven story is a lot tighter and far more immersive than like a reactive. All right. It's hard to do a reactive. Basically, okay, the reactive narrative is A to B to C, and do it in such a way that you feel that there's multiple options to get to C, but you still arrive at C. A reactive is A to C, to B, to D, to W. That's a lot harder to do. I mean, if anybody's done a flowchart, because I used to do flowcharts way back when I was learning about COBOL. That's how old computer programmers used to do it. Used to do flowcharts, yes, no type of shit, and the shapes mean different things. And you pick this option, yes, no, and you can make a massive flowchart. All right, and then you can have one yes, and then you go all the way down to another section of the program automatically. But that is so hard to do in a game story, in a game setting. Because, well, it would create replayability, but the story itself will suffer because you're missing some nuances. I don't believe in reaction type games, really. I believe making a game feel like it's reacting to you while still being like narrative driven. That's what Cyberpunk and like the first two Mass Effect games were narrative driven. The difference is how the character reacted to a NPC based on your choice of the conversation. That's different. Okay, that makes you feel like it's reacted, but it really isn't. It's still going from A to B to C.
But the world itself didn't always reflect them in tangible ways. For the sequel, I think there's a huge opportunity to make decisions ripple outward in more visible and long-term ways, affecting districts, factions, and even how entire cities evolve over time. Not in an overwhelming simulation sense, but enough to make the player feel like their actions genuinely shape the world around them. This ties directly.
That happened in Cyberpunk, especially in Phantom Liberty. All right? Okay, it happened. All right, but it was still A, B, C. It just felt like you did this stuff. All right, but
into the idea of factions and corporate influence. Cyberpunk as a universe thrives on power struggles between megacorporations, governments, and underground movements, yet in 2077, the player mostly interacts with these forces at a surface level. For Orion, expanding this system, without turning it into a full-blown strategy game, could add a lot of depth. One thing I absolutely want to see improved in the sequel is cyberware and implants. Cyberpunk already shows the immense potential of this system, and it's incredibly fun to experiment with builds. Mantis blades, gorilla arms, and all the different playstyles are genuinely impressive. But now it's time to go further, not just mechanically, but visually. Being able to modify your character to the point where they're visibly more machine than human should be essential. Right now, that level of transformation is mostly only achievable through PC mods. In Cyberpunk 2077, V can have a titanium skeleton and advanced internal cyberware, yet still look completely human on the outside. For Orion, visible cyberware and a more Borg-like aesthetic should be a priority to improve.
No, I think it should be optional. But as far as like a requirement, no, I wouldn't do that. It's like if I would want my character to stay more human looking. All right, but I don't want him to look like a fucking Borg. Okay, or Maelstrom. I don't want him to look like that. I want him to stay human looking because it's more relatable to me. If it looks like if the character looks fucking like Atom Smasher, I won't be able to relate to it. It's don't make it a requirement. It just make it an option.
Improve immersion and reinforce the themes of transhumanism. As for multiplayer and other rumored features, I'll only touch on them briefly. According to financial reports and job listings, CD Projekt Red is actively hiring network engineers for Orion, with direct mentions of matchmaking systems and low-latency online infrastructure. This strongly suggests that multiplayer won't just be an optional add-on, but a core pillar of the experience. At the very least, it's something worth.
Don't make it main part of the game. You can like have it like a separate thing or even like a separate storyline type thing, but don't make it a requirement. That multiple games have tried this and it's failed because it just pissed people off. People who buy a game to play at home just sit there and relax to and not have to schedule to play a fucking game. I've harped on that long enough.
Worth keeping an eye on. Paolo Sasco, one of the key figures behind the redemption of Cyberpunk 2077, has emphasized that the sequel will prioritize emotional impact over empty spectacle. The design philosophy focuses on carefully controlling what the player feels, using subtle details like body language, pacing, and even the intentional absence of information. Phantom Liberty serves as a clear template here, with morally ambiguous missions and consequences that only reveal themselves many hours later, something you can really notice when comparing the expansion to the base game. In terms of production timelines, CD Projekt Red estimates an average development cycle of 4 to 5 years from pre-production to release, which places the most realistic launch window somewhere between late 2029 and early 2031. Given the studio's history and the rocky launch of Cyberpunk 2077, I'm perfectly fine with them taking all the time they need. When it comes to budget, industry analysts believe CD Projekt Red could invest up to $416 million into the sequel, potentially matching or even surpassing the budget of The Witcher 4, due to the added complexity of online systems. Beyond this point, everything else is speculation. Some people are already claiming we'll get flying cars, full life simulation mechanics, faction and reputation systems, and extreme levels of customization. While all of that sounds amazing, it's better to stay grounded and let the developers cook. Whatever they end up delivering, it's almost guaranteed to be something wild. Let me know what you think about all of this, and
Once again, do not make multiplayer a requirement. Let the solo players have their solo game. Don't make multiplayer a requirement. That's always been a mistake. You push away gamers like me who love playing games as solo. RPGs, in my opinion, always should have their main focus on a solo, because they will constantly play your game, talk your game up, and you can have multiplayer. All right, you can know that element is there, but to make it requirement to have as part of the story, Mass Effect 3 is a bad fucking idea. All right, you can do a PvP in Night City. You go run around and try to kill other players and all that stuff. I mean, just call it GTA at that point, but do not make it a main part of the game. I wouldn't have it affect the story at all. I mean, like I say, it could be like its little own thing and just leave it like that, but I wouldn't make it like the a main element of the game or a requirement for the game. All right. I mean, to kind of wrap this segment up here, I really do enjoy RPGs. I love Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 until you get the ending of 3. Warhammer 40k Space Marines 2 was the best way to do a co-op, but it wasn't. Yeah, that's not an RPG. RPGs are a way different type of game, and now, to be honest with you, a Fortnite guy that strictly plays games like Fortnite wouldn't really like RPGs, because they're in for that fast-paced action and all that stuff. While RPGs typically are slow burns. I love RPGs. I love getting into the story and all that stuff. I mean, I have played Cyberpunk. I played Mass Effect. I have played Dragon Age to the point where I get frustrated because I was like, I know what's going to happen. I just want to get to the good stuff and just go through the story. I really want to go through the story. That's why I play RPG, is for the story, not necessarily going like leaping from buildings and all that shit. I really want to get into the story itself. The gameplay is actually secondary in an RPG. Okay, as long as it's not too god awful, as long as it's like usable and entertaining. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. That's fine. It doesn't have to be cutting edge. That's what I'm getting at. Because the story carries the game. The replayability of that game is the key. It's not actually the gameplay. It's the replayability of that game. That's what the stories are. That's why people play RPGs, that see how they do it differently. If you make this choice instead of that choice, so on and so forth. And if you make this choice, and then the next time you make a different choice compared to the last time you played it, that's what an RPG puts on the table. As compared to a game like Fortnite or Warhammer or those type of games, or Diablo. Okay, those aren't RPGs. And you constantly come back to this game. You may set down like a game like Cyberpunk or Mass Effect for a year. All of a sudden you get this burning itch to play it again. Because you'll see like a YouTube video or you're reading a book and you go, I want to play Mass Effect, or I want to play Dragon Age, all that. All of a sudden you got this need to play it. Okay, that's what to me, that's what RPGs give you compared to a game like a looter shooter. An RPG gives you a need to experience the story, not as much as the gameplay as the story. A looter shooter, whatever, or PvP game doesn't have a story that you make. It doesn't have anything to make you feel the need to play the fucking game for the story. It's about competitive. There's nothing wrong with it, by the way. Just not my cup of tea. You know, it's like I don't play zombie games. You know, like, because what's the story? Zombies. Okay. Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go from there? You know? Okay. Zombies. Yeah. You know? I mean, I'm sure eventually someone's going to come out with an RPG in a zombie apocalypse type situation, whatever. You could say Halo was like that. I like Halo, all right, but I don't call Halo an RPG. Okay, I will never call Halo an RPG. Halo is Halo. It has a good story. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying it's not an RPG. That's all. It's a shooter. It's a FPS. All right, and I will have enough space on the hard drive coming to me that I will be able to play Halo. Eventually, I'll get around to it. But you know, I want my RPGs to be RPGs. I don't want them to be looter shooters. Okay, I don't want them to be FPSs. I want them to be RPGs. And I do not want to have co-op or a requirement to play a multiplayer to do the story. I'm not interested in that. I want to be able to play a fucking game without having to break out a fucking calendar. Okay. And feel like I'm missing out on something. 1 second. I gotta get a drink. Gotta stay hydrated, people. So yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to what I've heard so far. The little things got me concerned about multiplayer. Hopefully, they're mistaken. I think multiplayer will be its own thing. Be honest with you, I think CD Projekt Red is smart enough not to make it a requirement to complete the game, and I'm very intrigued about 2 cities involved. Hopefully they don't. There's a danger here of being overly ambitious, to be honest with you, because if you get too ambitious, you can't. Sometimes you lose focus on what the main point of the game is, as far as like what people want from the next Cyberpunk, which is basically not necessarily exact copy of Cyberpunk 2077, but the same feel of playing that game, to be immersed. If you get too ambitious, you'll end up with Andromeda, okay, where the story suffers heavily. Sometimes it's good to pull back your ambitions and focus on the story. And once the story is solid and in place, then you can try to explore other things, but don't try to do everything out in a game. All right, kind of just like, okay, we got something that works here. Okay, let's build on that. Oh, we want to add this. Okay, add 2 new things. Don't try to add 5. All right, multiplayer, that's 1. And the second one, instead of 2 cities, have them go to the Crystal Palace in space. That would be ambitious. Okay, like I said, make it an open world without making it a true open world. If you get my meaning. Because that's kind of what Cyberpunk 2077 is. They say it's an open world because you could travel all over Night City, but you couldn't leave Night City. Because even technically the Badlands were part of Night City. All right. You couldn't go across the border without being instantly killed. No. But yeah, that was yeah. Okay, there we go. That was me talking about Cyberpunk 2077. I'm going to take a short break because I got to clean up my dishes from dinner real fast and do old man stuff. And then I will be back and we'll have a chatting session. So if you want me to talk about certain things, you don't necessarily have to be about Cyberpunk. It could be whatever you have on your mind right now. This is the time to do it when I get back. So I'm gonna probably be gone for about maybe 5 to 10 minutes because I got some pans to wash and my plate to wash, and go and do old man stuff, and then I'll be back. If you want to continue on discussion about games, because tomorrow I'm going to talk about Mass Effect 5, by the way, because tomorrow is supposed to be Mass Effect. I'm supposed to play Mass Effect, and I can't play Mass Effect on this game, on this computer, because it doesn't have enough space to put Mass Effect, and I don't think it has enough power for me to be able to stream and play Mass Effect. But I will be right back. I will give you some music to listen to. Hopefully none of it's copyrighted. If it is, I'll just take it out of the VOD. Mixes. Okay, let's go to mixes. Okay. Well, we'll start off with my personal favorite because I'll still have my headphones on and listening, but I'll be back as soon as I can.
Right into hell's door. Cross me and I bet you get what you paid for. Underdog of the undercity, keep it risky. Don't you test me, run away now, kitty. I drown in self-doubts, despair and breakdowns. I rose back up, I'm the one and only hell. Snuff out all of the lights, I'm the one who will guide all the ones who strayed away, you gotta realize. Resurrection. Like Shiranui, I'm reborn again. I'll say amen, just close your eyes, the fire's burning. Yeah, you know I'm relishing. And every breath you take, it fuels the flames. Yeah, I'm so devilish, the demons kept away, we're lost, but now I'm fucking breaking them. You can hate me, but I did what I set out for. I'm the top of that you wanted, but you won't score. I'm the demon stalking you, your words like daggers, I'm immune. I'm so taboo pursuing you, nothing that you can even do. My forsaken soul's all listen close. You best give it up, you're all mine. Don't you love it the way I do the most? Don't speak, sip it up, you don't hear my name. Tricky, getting tricky. Tricky, getting tricky. Welcome to the chaos and mortality. I'm wreaking havoc if I see it and I want it. Yeah, you know I gotta have it. Demons deep inside me tell me I'm everything but I've been decaying like a forest curse of fly again. I'm everlasting. I'll give you my diet. Harbinger of disarray like sure I know she's reality of men and monsters, yet I'm stuck in I'm lost in the empires, rise and fall, and you're right. Evil in the residence is evidence, I say my name. My forsaken soul's a listen close. You best give it up, you're all mine. Don't you love it the way I do the most? Don't speak, sip it up, you don't hear it, my name. I'm the big boss, I'm everywhere all at once. One terrible mirage, smash you until you're just us. A singularity, mental prosperity. Supernova if you test me, so tread carefully. I'm more than timeless, I'm overtaking it all behind your conscience. I lingered there from the start, they say they wanted more. Go ahead baby, go explore. I'll consume you with satiety, I told you before that everything I do is calculated. Princess of the toilet faded, by the gods above created. Everything you see I'm ancient, soaring higher, all is freedom. Her face just call me faker, hear me in those endless whispers, know that you can't replicate it. Stay in your lane unless you're ready to feed the drains. On the hunt and steady and you're out of your league. Call me the moon, I'm the joy, cause I'm always there. Looking down, say hello, yeah, you best beware. My forsaken soul's a lesson close. You best give it up, give it up. You're all mine, 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 mine. Don't you love it the way I do the most? Don't speak, sip it up, sip it up. You gon' hear it, our name. Boss Rush. Nobody knows what's in my soul. I never meant to call you out. I've always seen behind your smoke and mirrors. Oh, sweetheart, please don't yell at me. It really isn't hard to see the truth that's rotting underneath. Why weren't you honest from the start? You know I've always thought she must have liked you. She's just a temptress, don't you know? She'll say she loves you even though she only wants to steal your soul. I'll save you. You said you'd always be my friend, that we'd get married when we both got older. I'd never heard those words before. You made me long for something more, but then she tried to steal your love. What's with that look? Do you really think I'm out of line tonight? Stop calling her name. If you play my game, she may just make it out alive. I love you. I'm not asking much, just give me your heart and put no one else above me. Go on, say you love me. Take my hand in yours and tell me that I'll always be the one. Without you, my life means nothing. So just say you love me tonight. And if you lie, this poor girl will have to die. I'm sorry that I lost my cool. As you can see here, I've been very busy. I found her number in your phone, asked her to meet me here alone so we could talk just one-on-one. What's with that look? Do you really think I'm taking this too far? All you have to do is swear that you'll be true, and I will let her go right now. No, I won't fall for this again. I'll always see behind your smoke and mirrors. I know you love me deep inside. You're simply caught up in her lies, so I will cut you free myself. I'm not asking much, just give me your heart and put no one else above me. Please just say you love me. Take my hand in yours and tell me that I'll always be the one. Without you, my life means nothing, so just say you love me. Come on, what's the problem? Quit your crying, be a man. Surely she couldn't mean that much. Let me give you my love. Take my soul, my heart and body. Yes, I give it all to you. And if you still won't accept it, you're gonna regret it. I hate to play these games, but you're driving me insane. Won't you tell me that you'll stay now that she's not in the way?
I'm back. Somehow I forgot to operate the OBS. All right. What are you doing? Wait, no. This is going to be a little laggy because of the computer. No, that's just the way it is. Seru. Okay. All right. Since that was brought up, we'll take. DJ got canceled again. Cha-Cha Chilla's Deep Past just destroyed a commute. I already covered Chichilla. Girl needs help. She needs to get offline for a while. I'm talking at least a fucking year and get help. You know? Sit down and talk to somebody. That's all I'm going to say. I was thinking about doing a spin laugh and you lose type thing, but I don't really laugh that much. Well, I shouldn't say that. Yeah. It has to. No, there's sometimes I just don't find, but a lot of people find funny. I just don't find funny. You know, but it is what it is. Let me find out what's going on with this chick here. We're going to Twitter. How long is that going to take to load? I had to close out YouTube. I can't have multiple tabs open while streaming. And everything's going to take a little bit longer to load because of the nature of the thing. Oh. Chat's reloading, apparently. Okay. Are you going to do something? Yeah, I did hit Twitter. Yoo-hoo. Yoo-hoo. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah, I know you. I got faith in you, little buddy. I got faith. Okay, we're loading. We're loading. We're... Okay. Okay. Who is this? Saruei. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Saruei. Okay. All right. Well, what's this this horrible thing that she said, or he said? I don't know. I've seen her. Now I've seen her model. I know who she is. Do you feel like a hero yet? It's absurd to assume I support dictatorship or systematic oppression of women's rights. It's a simple quote from a gang, nothing more. I support nothing but people living and expressing themselves in full freedom. I wish you all a nice weekend. I hope you stay safe. What is this? I believe if that's from a Metal Gear Solid game, if I'm not mistaken. I'm talking about this right here. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Metal Gear Solid, if I'm not mistaken. Or it could be COD. Or Gears of War. I'm sorry. Poor timing. That's what that is. It's poor timing. Okay. Would I get upset about this? No. Or it's... I don't get upset about a fucking tweet, really. I really don't. People getting upset about stuff, it's kind of simple, nonsensical things. Because this is nonsensical. This tweet here is nonsensical. It's a silly reason to get angry. Spec Ops. Okay. Okay. But you have to be aware of the timing of your tweets. Like it would be a bad time to say, hey, 9/11 was fake. Don't do that. With what's going on, just don't fucking do it. Especially if you're a content creator and you're not political. Don't fucking say that. I mean, this is okay. I mean, once again, over here and what's happening on basically the trending here, doorbell was trending. People are upset, but people ring a fucking doorbell. I can see you're here. I know you're here. You don't have to ring my doorbell and piss off my dogs. Then, you know what? Take the fucking doorbell off your goddamn thing. But people are still knock on your door. They're still going to ring your goddamn doorbell. And want to know why? That's part of the fucking job. Like, stupid reason people get pissed off. That's a fucking stupid reason for people to get pissed off. He thought 2025 was the worst year for Vtubers. No, 2026 is going to be the year that people overreact about everything, to be honest with you. No, they're not. I mean, I followed Tigaholic just because I was doing the Tyga stuff. And I just, it's just sometimes I think I need to unfollow him because some of the stuff he posts on my timeline, it's very, I don't appreciate, to be honest with you. But, I got 2 notifications. I gotta look. Yeah, let me do this real fast. Okay, the deadline for submissions for Cinder Appreciation Day is April 4th. April 4th. I need to have all submissions sent to that email, btppresents@gmail.com. by April 4th in order to make it into the video. That'll give the editor, I have an editor for a video. He's doing it free of charge. And to get the video done and do a high quality video, he needs that much time. Plus, if you send a text message, either me, GBP, or Loboto, I don't know if Zero will be willing to do it, we'll read the text message as it's also on the screen. But we need a play of leeway to make a very good video for Sender Appreciation Day. So, April 4th. Spread the word that I need submissions by April 4th. Should we get this trending? Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be very nice. I want as I did I don't think I'm speaking out of turn. I did reach out to the admin of Cinder's Discord. Let him know what we're doing. I didn't necessarily want permission to post. I don't want permission. I wasn't asking for permission to post on Cinder's Discord, by the way. I was asking him to spread the word. He's not going to, but he kind of gave his approval of it. So this is unofficially approved by Cinder's Discord administration of Cinder's Discord. I wasn't asking them to post this on their Discord, on Cinder's Discord. I was just saying, hey, if you can just on the download, spread the word about it so I can get more interaction. I only got 4 emails, by the way. I want a lot more. I want at least 10 to 20, to be honest with you. If we get over 20, I'll be fucking ecstatic. All right. The more we have, the better the video is going to be. Right. And I'll be quite honest about it. I said this before and I'll say it again. This 426, it's going to be a tough day for Cinder. This will probably make her day. So please, I'm practically begging here. Send me emails. Tell me why you support Cinder, why you appreciate Cinder. Don't be finger pointing. Don't talk about the drama at all. If you do that, it's not going to be in the video. It won't be in the video at all. I'll just automatically delete the email. Okay, don't talk about Shy Lily. Don't talk about Nihilus. Don't talk about anybody other than Cinder and why you appreciate her and why you support her. That's all this is. This is all that's going to be. Nothing more than that. All right, because if you want to do that, there's a lot of places you can do that. But not here. Not for this. You're not going to do it for this. All right? This is not what this is about. This is about turning a negative into a positive. All right? Yeah, Viral video claims fake non-tipper fee at I don't okay. Oh, I should maybe I should I say anything about that? Huh. Good night, Bollocks. Bullocks? I don't know. Okay. That's funny. That's funny. Have I seen this anime? Yes. It's better than a horse video. Just saying. If you're hating on burnt peanut, you're a retard. Tectone, you're a fucking dumbass. Just say. If you don't like burnt peanut, you're not retarded. You just don't like that person. It's like if you don't like Tectone, you're not retarded. You just don't like Tectone. All right? Guy who said he bought it. Burnt peanut doesn't say he's botting. So it's a good indication when he's fucking botting. But is there proof of it? No. Is there evidence pointing to it? Yes. But there's no actual proof of it. And if you keep talking about it, someone's eventually going to prove it. Just saying. I mean, fuck. I said that was funny. Let's talk about Iran. Can I? All right. Let's go here. So I can have it on screen. America and Israel teamed up to do airstrikes in Iran. I am not for war. Okay, I think war is the last line of diplomacy. Okay, if all avenues have been used and used to avoid it, then the only option is to take military action, so be it. Okay. I'm not going to say anything than this, really. Like I said, I'm never for war. I think it's always the last line of diplomacy. That's the last diplomatic measure that you do. America for the last 47 years was always trying to have a diplomatic relationship with Iran. They have constantly Iran's never been hasn't been open to it. Right? When you sit there and stonewall diplomacy, eventually you're going to have military action. All right. The thing with Iran is this. I will say this. I'm not cheering for it, Roy. Killing people is about the worst way to change people's mind. But I will say this. It's also sometimes necessary. 47 years of saying death to America and supported terrorism, there was eventually going to be a reckoning. Eventually, was going to be a reckoning. I'm not saying it, and I'll be quite honest, it doesn't matter if it was President Trump or President Biden or President Obama who did it. It was eventually going to happen. There was going to be military action against Iran because they refused to talk to us. You will see stories about Obama giving them $1.7 billion in cash. I don't know if that's true. I haven't really looked into it. There's been trying to get constant assurances from Iran that they weren't making a nuclear bomb. Or making nuclear weapons. And they have been on board, then stop inspections, been for inspections, then stop, and so on and so forth. They were playing the cutesy game. Well, that doesn't work, Roy. People, it's just like raising a child and you say, go do this. I don't want to. Well, I'll give you a cookie. Okay. And he does a third of it because he ate his cookie. Now he wants another cookie to do more. Well, you give him another cookie. Then maybe he does a quarter more. Now he wants another cookie. Well, you can keep giving him a cookie. Or eventually, you're just going to have to give him a swat on the ass and say, get the shit done. Then you'll get your fucking cookie after you do it. All right. Am I comparing Iran to a spoiled child? Yeah, because that's how they acted. And they were and from reports from Iranian citizens, especially women in Iran, they were very oppressed. This is not unknown stuff I'm talking about. Women in Iran were treated as third world citizens. Okay, they had no rights. They weren't allowed to be educated and all that. It was a very oppressive regime where Islamic values was the rule of the government. And you can hear horror stories about that regime from people who left it and come to other countries, not just America, but there's France, Australia. When these strikes happened and when the Ayatollah was killed, the telling thing is Iranian people around the world, including in Iran, were out in the streets cheering. They were happy that this is happening, that they are going to be free. I talked about when there was protests in Iran about a month ago, a little bit more than a month ago, while nobody was covering it. It was not on any news sources I could find. Nobody was talking about it. Other than maybe a few YouTubers were talking about it. And it was like a passing thing in a day. And I'm sitting here going, what the fuck's going on? What happened is, and this is something that's not being brought up, the Iranian police killed 30,000 protesters. The Iranian military, or in this case, the police department, have killed more Iranians than these strikes have. So, for those that are like protesting this, ask the Iranian people. I mean, it's easy as someone here sitting as I'm not Iranian. I'm saying that up front. And I'm just basing my opinion on what I've seen, like people out in the streets cheering and saying, thank you, Trump. It's about time, all this stuff. That they appear to be happy. What I will say to the American political people and Israel, don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't do an Afghanistan. Or Iraq, for that matter. America has fucked up Afghanistan and to a certain extent Iraq. The only one that didn't really fuck up is Kuwait. But Kuwait was a defensive war to get the Iraqs out of Kuwait. It was a friendly government. Do not assume that the Iranian people want a government just like ours. They just don't want a religious government. They don't want I don't remember, a Muslim government. They want a government where they can have elections, where women aren't treated like worse than a cow, okay? Women in Iran don't want to be treated as livestock. They want to have rights. They want to be able to be educated, all that stuff. They want to be able to read, drive a car, all that stuff. They don't want to wear the burqas. They want to be able to express themselves and be artists, to be reporters, to have a dream and stay in their country. They don't particularly want to go to another country. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out to be a regime changes. You may see a lot of Iranians go back to their country because they still love their country. They just don't want to be oppressed anymore. And contrary to, you'll see a lot of political tweets and a lot of political of the stories on news sites or on the nightly news and all that stuff. The thing to remember here, it was going to happen eventually. If you keep trying to swap the nose of the big bear, eventually the bear is going to hit you. That's kind of what happened, right? If you keep, playing games, well, someone eventually changes the rules of the game, and that's kind of just what happened. The rules of the game has changed. I know. I voted for Trump, but I don't really approve of Trump. Okay, I'm making that very clear. If anybody else was running against Kamala Harris that had a chance to win, I would have voted for him. To be honest, because that whole shit with Kamala Harris, I will never support that. I would never support someone running for any office, not just president, senator, whatever, that when the candidate that the people voted for is replaced by someone that nobody voted for. I'll never be on board with that. And I would never allow that to be something that would be like a mark in history. Oh, this person was elected president without winning a primary. Fuck you. Okay, that was a power move, by the way. We're just gonna slap someone else in there because, Americans are fucking stupid. That's why a lot of people voted for Trump. They didn't really want to vote for him, but they voted for him because they weren't going to put up with the bullshit with someone being put into a race that no one voted for in a primary. Regardless that Biden run unopposed, which I always think is a fucking mistake. I think there's always should be an opponent on a primary ticket, because that way the real concerns of the RFK Jr. should have won. Well, he didn't. Just saying, he didn't. But, I mean, Trump was not my pick for president, but he was the one that was most likely, that has the best chance to win against Kamala Harris, and I voted for him just on the principle of having someone running for president that didn't win a fucking primary. Now, if she ran against Biden and won the nomination, fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I will not have the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, just to say this is the candidate now. No one voted him to be the candidate, because this country was based on one thing that is the most important thing. The people's will, the American people's will be heard. And the candidate they pick is the candidate that they pick. Good or bad, that's it. Trump won the primaries. He was the candidate for president. Biden won the primaries. Granted, he was unopposed. That's the reason why you have someone run against an incumbent president. See, people still want him to be president. Just saying. Just makes sense at that point. But because at least if something happens to the person that won the primary, if they die, you have a backup. Okay. Just saying. I don't think anybody would have any problem with it. There's a lot of things Trump has done I don't approve of. I think he hasn't addressed the high grocery bills. I don't think he has addressed the corruption in Washington. I don't think he's addressed, well, the economy very well. The tariff stuff, I think he's overreaching. I think he's kind of lying about that. And I know people are going to say, well, you voted for him. I voted for someone who got voted on in a primary and not swapped out by a political party. Because that political party started acting like a dictatorship. That's why I voted for Trump. The American system has to work. Whether you agree with it or not, it has to work the way it's set up. You don't have to like who your candidate is, but you're fucking stuck with them. Oh, I know you're going to talk about the Epstein files. I haven't read them, nor am I going to. I'm not interested in it. And the people that need to read the Epstein files, it's law enforcement, and actually start making arrests. Because all it is people are reading what they want to read. All right. They get to a certain part, they say, aha, there's a name. But if it's just named and it doesn't say they've done anything, so Epstein was trying to blackmail people. Okay. I'll put it this way. There's been a lot of victims of Epstein. Trump was never mentioned publicly by those victims. In fact, they've kind of said he didn't touch them. They have no knowledge of him touching anybody or quote unquote Epsteining any minors. There's even a story that he told the FBI to go get the motherfucker and worked with them. Just whatever you want to believe. Yeah, I heard about the satanic stories, eating babies, all this stuff. Like I said, I haven't read the Epstein files. I'm not in law enforcement. I do have family that were in law enforcement. Okay. What's your opinion of the Epstein files? Have you read them? No. Okay. I'm not a big Trump supporter. I'm a big supporter of the American system. I'm a big supporter of law enforcement. I do think that Trump doing with immigration has to happen. It has to happen. You don't have the resources to do this shit, people. We don't. There's not unlimited funds. We cannot help everybody. It's just not the way it works. The American people have suffered because this idea that we should just have open borders, anybody could come in. A lot of Americans have died because of that. A lot of children's childhood has been taken away because of that. And that doesn't matter if there is in a single digit. A lost childhood is irreplaceable and monstrous. Go tell a child that his suffering doesn't matter, which is what a lot of American judges are doing. Doesn't matter if it's 1, 20, or 40,000. One is enough. But there's always the old saying, how many people have to die before someone does the corrective action? And it should be no more than one. It should be none. How many people have to die before something is done? How many Iranian women have to live in an oppressive dictatorship before something happens? The reason why I'm for what's happening, because there's evidence of the Iranian people want it to happen. It was just a month ago, there was widespread protest in Iran that they want the regime gone. They want it gone. and 30,000 people died for it. So they have spilled their own blood to be free from this regime. That's why they're celebrating the strike. That's why around the world they're celebrating this. Because they want their country back. They want to be free. And they were willing to die for it. This isn't Afghanistan. They weren't protesting in Afghanistan. Technically, this is not Iraq either. They weren't protesting in the street in Iraq either. The Iranian people want to be free. How do you feel about the current situation in Mexico? Oh, the cartels being killed? Good. That the Mexican president are sitting there sweating her fucking ass off because she supports the cartels and she's afraid that they're going to be storming the palace to take her ass out? Good. It's about time the Mexican people start standing up for themselves as they say they fucking had enough of the corruption. And I'm going to be honest about it. It's getting that way in America, too. You got to understand, there's a lot of Americans who are pissed off. And it doesn't fall under party lines. It's just not the Democrats. It's just not the fucking Republicans. It's just not the independents. It's Americans are pissed off. They're tired of going to the grocery store, buy $100 worth of groceries, and it lasts for a fucking day. They're being tired of saying, hear people say, oh, we're going to give you free health care. I got the story. I was paid $85 a month for health care, moved 10 miles down the road, and it went up to $185 because I went to a different county. How does that make fucking sense? And wasn't making a lot of money. Why should I pay $220 a month for Medicare? A tax that's taken out when I was working in my paycheck. I'm on disability. I am actually currently looking for a part-time job, by the way, because I can't afford to live. Or let me put it this way: I don't make. There's not enough money to go around for me to survive. I can't afford to buy groceries every month. That's why towards the end of this month, if I don't have a part-time job where I can supplement my disability without making more than $800 a month, which is fucking ridiculous, by the way. I should be able to have a full-time if I had a full-time job, I wouldn't be doing this. But I should have been able to keep my full-time job as a security guard and use the disability to pay for my medical bills. That would have been ideal. That's actually the way it was originally set up. Disability was a supplement. You were able to keep working and use your disability to pay for your medical care. But that changed in the 70s. All of a sudden, you can't make this certain amount of money, or you can't get disability, or you can't keep your retirement. People acting like World War III is happening. Let me tell you about World War III. It's not going to be what you think it's going to be. It's not going to be what you think. It's not going to be a war between countries. It's going to be a war against citizens against our government. All right. I think what's going to happen here in America is the American people are sick of it. They're sick of people at the State of the Union address and the president points to a child like beat cancer and show strength and show support, love, and caring to law enforcement. And have a group of people not rise up and clap for them because the president that they don't like invited a child. People don't like the fact that the President Trump, invited a family of a victim of that, a daughter that was killed by an illegal immigrant. And they didn't stand up and show them support or empathy. They sit there with that look of smug superiority on their face. Those are American citizens, you fucking morons. And the American people are tired of it. So when the American people will eventually rise up against their own government because of the way they've been treated, the lack of respect that they've been shown, being told, oh, we're doing this for your own good. Never mind that we're getting kickbacks or getting money in our pockets from the people we're supposedly oppose. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican and you're voted into office. If you're not doing your job, and your job is to protect the American citizen, your job is not to stay in power. Your job is not to be there for 40 plus years and leave as a multi-millionaire with 4 fucking houses and be green, talking about green energy, while your carbon footprint is bigger than some small towns in America. That's not your job. Your job is to protect and support the will of the American people. That's your job. Nothing else. Not support the will and the money of a corporation. I'm sure about Rev Resident. What would Rev? Huh? So, I think World War III will be citizens going against their own government. Sort of what you saw in Iran a month ago. I think that's going to happen around the world. It's also happened in other countries where you see citizens go into presidential residences and go grab the president and say, you're fucking done. You're getting your ass out of here because you aren't doing what you were elected to do. And the main tenet of most of these elected officials is to protect their people. Not worried about what they say online. Not to try to shut down free speech. Hello, England. Oh, you can't say that. You're going to hurt somebody's feelings. Fuck their feelings. Maybe they grow up and realize that they are not the end-all or be-all of the whole fucking world. If you want respect, show respect. Then you'll get respect back. That's just how the world works. You act like a piece of shit, well, guess what? Most people don't want you on the bottom of their shoe. Because you stink. So, you see all these people, once again, you're going to see gay people coming out against the strikes in Iran. Once again, if you're gay, go to a Muslim state. See if they accept you. I don't want you to die, but I want you to come to awakening. You're supporting a regime that will fucking kill you because you're gay. You know? They'll fucking kill you because you're gay. Why are you supporting this or being against this? Especially because the people of that country are fucking happy that it's happening. They tried on their own to make a change and they died for it. They bled and lost lives for this to happen. And it's not recently that people have been hanged in Iran by speaking out about their government. There's a guy that was hung in front of his child, and they made the child watch, by the way, because he spoke out against their government. Why are you guys... I'm not saying, oh yeah, you're killing people. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, why aren't you supporting the takedown of a regime that was so impressive that they would kill gay people for being gay? They hang people in front of their children and make the children watch. They oppress women to the point where they're treated like cattle. Subhuman. If you practice any other religion other than Muslim, you die. And if you cross their borders illegally, they fucking kill you. There is no detainment centers for illegal aliens because there's no illegal aliens. They're just unmarked graves. Why are you sitting there saying this is wrong? Because Trump did it. Fucking retards. You would be the people in 1930s sitting there saying, we better not go to war with Germany. We better not go to war with Germany. Why? I don't like RDF. I don't. No. So they killed millions of Jews. Fuck them. That's what you say. But it's not the Jews that are being oppressed. It's the fucking Iranian people. They're being oppressed by their own government. By the way, that comment about the Jews in 1940s Germany, it was me being sarcastic. I'm not anti-Semite. And people are going crazy because Israel's involved. Who knows that part of the world better than Israel? I saw a tweet earlier just saying we need anti-Semitism to run wild. It did. And it led into concentration camps and gas chambers. You want to bring that back, apparently. Because quite frankly, if these people would have left Israel alone, guess what? They probably would have left them alone. As simple as that. You stop making threats to them, guess what? They won't threaten you back. It's like walking down the street and seeing somebody. I'm going to punch you in the face. And it's like, well, you're going to get something like, well, whatever. You eventually get, do it, bitch, and I'll fucking end you. So you punch them in the face, and guess what? They fucking end you. This is the same fucking situation. Imagine civilians coming to power and getting rid of nukes. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. You don't get rid of your biggest deterrent. But I'll tell you this much. If Iran had a nuclear weapon and launched it, there would have been a nuclear response. Instantaneous. And they're very well aware of it. North Korea is very well aware if they launch a nuclear weapon, there will be a nuclear response. And everybody dies. There's no winner. The interesting thing, because of what happened in Iran and America and Israel doing the strikes they did, Putin is willing to talk about peace in Ukraine. Because motherfucker's crazy in America. They got a fucking crazy ass president. He's willing just to start blowing shit up. I know I'm fucking crazy, but that's goddamn insane. You know? That's interesting, isn't it? Because this is a similar thing that happened in when Reagan was president. Russia was starting to flex their muscles a little bit, acting like a big dog. They went into Afghanistan, and Reagan, after a bombing in Beirut at a Marine base, made Beirut a rubble place overnight. And all of a sudden, the posturing from Moscow stopped. Because they went, oh shit, the old guy's crazy. He leveled a fucking city in a night. And all of a sudden, Russia's like, okay, we're just in Afghanistan. We're trying to beat back terrorists. We're trying to get rid of the evil people there. Well, but some people are happy with that. There's a big concern about Turkey taking over Iran. I wouldn't worry about that. No, I just wouldn't worry about it. Because, it's when everybody sees like one of the superpowers and they believe that the guy in charge is fucking nuts, they start walking carefully. Just saying, I don't want to piss the guy off. I don't want him to hit that magic red button. Okay, just saying. There's also talk about the SAVE Act, which is to take war powers away from the president. The president is allowed to do military actions for 30 days, as long as he doesn't put troops on the ground. In other words, he can do airstrikes. And they want to take that power away from the president because they don't like the president. Those powers have been in place since the 1940s. They were created in the 40s because of Pearl Harbor. Because the president had to wait for Congress to approve of him to do anything militarily. And the theory was, if FDR had the ability to get U.S. personnel in the air sooner, Pearl Harbor wouldn't have happened. That's why they gave military a 30-day thing for the president to do military action to prevent loss of American lives. The only reason they're doing this is because they don't like Trump. That's the only reason why the Democrats are doing this shit, because they don't like Trump. Because as soon as they get a president they want to repeal this SAVE Act, and the Republicans won't like him. Why? You want to know why the Republicans won't let him? Because they won't like the president that's in the Democratic president. It's like, motherfucker, you took the powers away. They're saying that way now. Just because you like the guy that's in the White House now doesn't mean you also like, oh, we changed our minds. Just say. Let's see. Those people are going to die soon. I'm just saying. Okay, whatever. Iran's been an imminent threat to America for the last 47 years. Just by rhetoric alone and supporting terrorist cells. There is a belief that 9/11 was supported by Iranian money. Just saying. That's a theory, by the way. There's no actual factual evidence behind it. But it's widely believed that it's true because how Iran reacted to 9/11. They celebrated. The government celebrated. The people were scared as shit. Because they widely believe that America will be like going into their country, just killing everybody. Just say. Let me open up Discord. Hopefully it doesn't make things go move slower. I'm waiting to see if I get a certain response here. Let me see. Yes. If I get a VTuber model, because remember, I am a 21-year-old woman sitting on a couch using a voice changer, and I got big tits. If I get a VTuber model that's female and have huge jokes, will I get more people watching me? Just just saying. I'm asking for a friend. We'll go back up here to this comment I saw earlier because I did want to. The Burt Peanut winning the VTuber of the Year awards at the Twitch Streamer Awards that he's talking about here is the VTuber equivalent of 2B2T YouTuber evasion of summer 2016 when Camping Rusher first joined 2B2B on January 1st. Meaning that it's just a silly? Yeah, I agree with that. It's, but the amount of shit that goes on with the VTubers, where which two do you like? Huh? Oh, you like that? Huh. Thanks, boss. It's just silly. You know, with the 2B2 thing, because I watch videos about it. It was more good natured. It's not actual like, hey, don't want you here, die. You know, or we're gonna cancel you because you're on our server. It was not really that. It was more along the lines of, oh, we got a popular YouTuber on our channel. Let's make him pay. Let's show him what 2B2T is really about. That's kind of what it was. As compared to the multiple VTuber drama over the last year, it's a lot of it's high school bullshit, blown up way out of proportion. It's people who are trying to take people down. They for various reasons, why they feel like they're threats, or quite frankly, they just plain don't fucking like them. It's a lot of that, right? There's no legitimate, other than maybe Takahashi, no real legitimate reason to make any of the shit public. None. This 95 of this VTuber drama that is coming out on Twitter and all that could have been handled privately. To be honest with you. Now, someone puts out a bad tweet. They put out a bad tweet and they get called out on it. A poorly worded tweet, they get called out on it. Okay. So be it. you know, Germany just watching all this go, yeah, it's kind of like, we learned our lesson. Don't piss off the Americans, especially when they got fucking nutball as the president. Just leave him the fuck alone. If he says he wants to talk, go, when and where? You fucking nutball. Just say. I mean, it's just, no, a lot of, this has been like, it's sort of like the doorbell trending on Twitter for a while. Because, you know, it's, because people are pissed off that people are ringing the doorbell and knocking on the door when they're delivering a product. It's like, come on, haven't you seen the videos where people are getting their packages stolen? And you have a problem with letting them know that your package is there? Are you fucking dumb? Hello? I mean, like I said, a lot of shit doesn't need to be public. Once again, poor word tweet, poorly timed tweet also. And yeah, but it's not really that big of a fucking deal. I mean, this thing about that, what's her face putting out that tweet, a quote from a video game, it'd be over in a day. People are going to forget about it. What's going on with Russia and China? Oh, Russia and China has pulled out of Iran. Ah. Okay, I don't know if this. And once again, people are saying World War III is going to happen since 2010. Nobody, it's World War III. It's not going to be a war between countries. It's going to be a war between citizens and their government. Just saying, it'd be a war between the citizens and their government. I still can't believe we got Operation Just Cause 2.0 on. Huh? Talking about the Epstein files? No, it's not that. Okay. It's just no. A lot of people saying he did strikes against Iran because of the Epstein files. If he didn't, put it this way, if Trump didn't want the Venezuela, maybe. No, Venezuela was like over in 8 hours. This is going to take a little bit longer, to be honest with you. No, I think we'll see a full 30-day strikes against Iran. I think that we'll see strikes against Iran go on until all their missile launchers are taken down, all their military infrastructure is taken down. I don't think you're going to see a single American U.S. soldier enter that country. In fact, I'm going to be honest about it, I don't think you're going to see any Israel Mossads enter that country, if they're not already there, by the way. When I say, hey, America, Israel, don't fuck it up. Don't. Israel has fucked up relationships. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, Israel has fucked up the relationship between Palestine. Granted, Palestine's also fucked up the relationship with Israel. You know? Once again, October 20th this was start the whole Israel versus Palestine this time around because Palestinian militants attacked a concert of civilians. not a military target. Civilians at a concert. No music and shit. Where they were dancing and having a good fucking time and killed people and took people hostages. If that didn't happen, guess what? There would have been no conflict. And people are upset that Israel attacked Palestine. God damn right they're going to attack them. They went after their citizens. What do you expect them to do? Go, so sorry that you had to kill our citizens and just, we're not going to do nothing about it. Yeah, show me a country that's not going to do shit when you go in there and kill their citizens. Venezuela, I mean, the guy was corrupt as hell. And Venezuelans want him gone. In fact, if I remember correctly, he tried to stay, he did a coup because he was elected out of office. He was trying to establish a dictatorship. The Venezuelans didn't want him there no more. And when he got taken out, they were in the streets cheering, and they put the person that was elected in office. I think I got that right. I'm pretty sure I did. If I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I think the person that got elected was told by Trump, told him, said, don't fuck it up or we're coming back. And the person that was like taken out of the country was basically being courted by Russia and China to put military bases there. That they didn't come and try to protect them. They pulled out Iran like, fuck, you're on your own. You're on your own. We gave you weapons, use them. We're not giving you any more. You're on your own. Which is not actually a very smart move. Because Trump is fucking nuts. I won't deny that. But people say Trump is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, he is. He scares a lot of people. In some ways, that's a good thing. U.S. gamers spend less on new titles, but industry hit records highs. Let's see here, since we were talking about games. This is what I mean. This little article right here is the reason why when people complain about quality of games and don't do jack shit about it, keep on buying those fucking games. That's the reason why they're going up to $70, $80, people. Because they know you'll buy it. Here's an idea. Don't buy the fucking games. Don't buy the game passes. Or anything like that. Put it this way. I was reading Spider-Man a long time ago. This was almost over 20 years ago when I stopped. They did this event in a Spider-Man called One More Day, which was basically a way to get rid of the marriage of Peter Parker and Mary Jane. It was such an insulting thing. It was it was so insulting. And they came up with the attitude, well, we had to do it for the good of the character. They had record sales prior to this. And they did something afterward called One More Day. That's why a lot of people don't like the title of the new Spider-Man movie. And it was fucking awful too. They did this idea of putting out Spider-Man weekly, and it was a rotation of writers. These are good writers. That if either one of them, if they had their own particular run, will probably had a good run on Spider-Man. but they decided to do a rotation, and was like, I compared it at the time as like being in a car learning how to, with someone learning how to drive stick shift. They'd be going good, all of a sudden jerk, and all of a sudden going good, jerk. And it was such an awful time to be reading the comic. And people just dropped it and never came back. I mean, I came back briefly because of my friend's show, but I right now I don't read Spider-Man because it's just I find it very mid. Not awful, but not good. It's just there. It's like having you can be at home, make yourself a hamburger, and it's really good, or you can go to McDonald's, and it's passable, but you get what you're paying for. But when you're buying a comic book for now, comic books are over $5. It better be fucking outstanding every single time. And they go say quality of paper and all this shit. No. Same with video games. Why are you willing to pay $70 to $80? Why are you willing to give Xbox, PlayStation, any kind of fucking extra money for their Game Pass or whatever PlayStation's called? Because I didn't ever subscribe to play. I did have a Game Pass for a little while, but I just I don't use it for anything. And I just dropped it. I think I actually still got a little bit of time left on it, to be honest with you. I think I mostly got it for the points because I was like getting cosmetic items with points or something like that at that time. But what they'll keep doing this shit as long as you pay for it. If you stop buying this shit, they'll fucking wake up and go, maybe we should change something because people are starting to stop buying our stuff. And go back to the comic book. Comic books are on their last fucking legs. Really. I'm talking about comic books. I'm not talking about comic book movies, by the way. I'm talking about comic books. Bad writing is bad writing, whether it be in print form or in a movie or a TV show. If it's bad and people don't like it, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. If the audience you want to watch it are going, you failed. You have lost the narrative. The narrative is you are supposed to be entertaining people, and the people you want to entertain are looking at you going, are you fucking crazy? You want me to watch that shit? No, thank you. No, fuck off. I'm keeping my money. And they'll make up excuses like, video games, anime, manga, all disposable media. Instead of, hey, maybe your shit sucks. Okay, just saying. So people, the best way to bring change in the entertainment industry is not to buy their products. If you stop buying their products, they'll get the sudden idea that maybe there's something fucking wrong. If you unsubscribe to your subscription service, and they start losing, a lot of subscription services, your Paramount Plus, your Disney Plus, your Netflix, Peacock, all these other subscription servers are not making any money because people are not subscribing to them because they're like going, fuck you. I'm paying for your subscription and I gotta watch commercials? Blow me. I'm not paying you to watch commercials. That's one of the reasons why I got rid of Amazon Prime. I was at Amazon Prime with Amazon Prime for over 20 years. And they jacked up the prices. And I went to watch a movie. And they wanted me to either rent the movie that was supposed to be free or watch it with commercials. I was like, fuck off. I'm already giving you money. So the only subscription service I have is YouTube Premium. And mostly so I don't have to watch commercials. That's it. Resident Evil 9 is an exception. I've heard people play it. about playing it. I'll be honest. I don't really. I tried to play Resident Evil games. It never jived with me. I heard they're real good. A lot of people enjoy it. I'm just not one of them. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm just not one of them. But I heard a lot of people like Resident Evil 9. Good. I've seen a lot of female VTubers want to put mods in to make Leon nude. I'm like, okay. That's gonna work on stream. Hey, Leon, what's that between your legs? Oh, that's my extra gun. Just... What's that behind you? Oh. That's how I strangle people. I'll put them between my butt cheeks and go, okay. Today I wanted to cover the Respawn Discord drama and the horrible return of Chilla, the evil VTuber who tried to cancel multiple streamers and ruin their lives. Oh, I do have a Discord, but I use it for collabs. There's like only 4 people there, and I use it to set up collabs. I'm thinking of making that a public Discord, for thanking to supporting me with the fact people donated to me to get my streaming computer fixed. Hold on, I gotta look at something real quick. I need to go to my channel. Real quick. I need to go. Let's mute that. I don't need to hear myself talk. Thank you very much. Yep, I got a coffee now. So there's the link to the coffee right there. Also got the tip jar still, but I got coffee. Well, people donated through coffee to help me get my computer fixed. And if you want to show support, you can send me a donation. I still got to finish setting up the page. I didn't realize there was more to coffee than what I did. But it was mostly I need to get my streaming computers. And once again, like I said, I don't have money to do the things right now that I want to do, as far as upgrading my computer and all that. So when the computer went down, I'm stuck with this little computer where I can't really play games because it's not that powerful. It's like I said, it's just a little square computer. It's like one of those computers that you may see in school where they're networked to the server. It's the same thing. Okay, it's just a little tiny thing. And I'm streaming off of it right now. That's the reason why a lot of videos are that's why when I was playing music, it was buffering a lot because this computer doesn't have the necessary power for me to stream and play videos, which may affect VTuber highlights this week. I want to see. Yep, Peppa. Let me go here. Yeah, this one here has been the fastest viewed video that I've uploaded. Granted, it's very minimal edits here. I mean, I just cut out the chat section of this video. That's all I did. But it's the fastest growing video on my channel. It's on the same par as the Crazy Ollie video, which right now stands at 520. I don't know why this one is only have 7 views. Maybe they think it's whatever. And I forgot to put the hashtag in it. Let me do that real fast. Mm-hmm. Let me do that. I tried to do that on all VTuber highlights that support all VTubers. But oh, I got another subscriber. I'm up to 108. Cool. Thank you, whoever just subscribed. Can I get like the gaming redhead Annette Williams? Sorry, Ruth. I know who Ruth is. Okay. Jose Rivera. Okay. Respawn. This Panana for sure. Okay. Power Bastard. The Gaming Redhead. Teflon Ally. Mega Ralph 12345. Annette Williams. Ruth. Radical Dude 15. Okay. I think that's like the most recent subscribers that I've got. Thank you all. Do appreciate it. Once again, I'm very humble with all the subscribers I get. I do appreciate all the support. I'm very humble with the donations I got to get my streaming computer fixed. If I say this I'm supposed to say this every single time, but I didn't mean to do that. I want to go to load up, please. If you wanted, I'm not asking for donations. I'm not what they call it, e-begging. If you want to support me financially, the links are in the description. Most people prefer coffee, and I will thank you on Twitter. Zero. I don't know if Zero gave me $200. He's my son. So coffee's right here. I want to thank you, Zero. Jean Bromnan. John, whoever. This guy gave me support. Back to the mines, old man. All right. But thank you. If you don't want me to call you out, just if you do donate to me, just say, please don't say my name. Okay. And if I said your name, you didn't want me to say your name, I'm sorry. But I felt like I need to say thank you once again. And if I'm not going to do a Patreon, by the way. Once membership becomes available, I'm just going to put it at $1. Hold on. Inflation, $2. That's how much it's going to cost to be a member. You're not going to be, once I get the Discord set up. I know I didn't want to do it because of the age verification thing. It's going to be a PG-13 Discord. No nudity, no porn, none of that shit. Or I just fucking ban you. I'm going to have to get moderators lined up for it that are actually going to be fair moderators, not someone who goes on a fucking power trip. Okay. Well, leave it at that. And they'll go on a fucking power trip. Because I'll ban the moderator. Just be honest about it. It's not going to be a place where you will be permitted to talk bad about content creators. You will have to be respectful like you are in my chat. I'll just not get rid of you. There's not going to be any creepy bullshit happening on my Discord, or not only will you get banned, if it's illegal, I will report you to the authorities. YouTubers are in shambles. I don't think so. I know what you're talking about. I don't think so. Put it this way, until someone tries to take down Project Melody, and they tried, I will seriously doubt YouTubers, talented YouTubers, are in jeopardy. Okay, there's some YouTubers that have made have made some bad takes. Let's put it that way. And in turn, they're being called out on it, and they're pretty much like they're being canceled. All right. When you're in the entertainment industry, there's something that you have to keep in the front of your mind when you voice your opinion. It's just your fucking opinion. Your opinion's worth as much as the guy sitting next door to you who's not streaming or not a VTuber or not a content creator. It's on the same level as the guy on the street. Just because you're streaming on YouTube and whatever does not mean that your opinion means more than anybody else's. I've always held that. Always felt that's true. I'm not saying anything new. If you have if your opinion and you voice your opinion, who will get called out next? I'll touch on that in a minute. It's just your opinion. Okay. Once again, opinions are like assholes. Just some stink more than others. And if your opinion stinks and everybody calls you out on your shitty opinion, and you have every right to stand by your opinion, but if every person that responds to you going, "Hey, you're a fucking moron," well, maybe you should start listening to them. Just saying. If you're being told that you're a fucking idiot 9 times out of 10, maybe you're a fucking idiot. And maybe you should just keep your mouth shut about that subject. No? You can still feel that way, but maybe you shouldn't just say anything publicly. Okay. We could call that the bow effect. Maybe you should just keep your fucking mouth shut, bow about certain things, and never bring it up again. Just saying. Who will get called out next? People are not going to believe me for this one. Because I think it's going to happen by the end of the year. And it's not going to be any... I think it's Saba. Why? Because she's not streaming. And she's still getting support. She's going to be called out for not streaming. And some other VTuber or somebody is going to take up that banner and run with it. Because they probably feel that she shouldn't have the support that she has. I'm being honest. I think by the end of 2026, someone's going to call out Saba. I think it'll be a big fucking mistake to do that. By the way, it didn't work well for Nux. I'm just saying that. When he used rape artwork of Gargura, it didn't work out good for him. He still gets called out by that today. The Brittany, what's her face? It didn't work out well for her when she called out Gargura and Saba. Because of their model. I think someone's going to try to cancel Saba. That's my honest opinion. I think someone's going to try to do it. And no, I'm not saying it's going to be Doobie, a Nini Nightmare, or anybody that's collabed with her. I think Saba is super busy right now. She says she has a lot of projects in the work, a lot of ambitious projects she's wanted to do for years that she's doing now. What about Lily? The only one, the only way Lily gets called out if she talks about Cinder. That's the only way that Lily's gonna get called out. I know y'all tried to make it happen on the New Year's thing, which was her just doubling down, which once again, not a big fucking deal. But hold on. Where did it go? Sorry. I dropped something. I was trying to find it. Yeah, if she talks about Cinder, yeah, people will go after her. Because now it will be, she did it on New Year's. People went after her. I think she's learned her lesson about that. If she comes out against another VTuber, I think it's, which I don't think she's ever gonna fucking do again, by the way. Yeah, I could see her being like taken to task for it because it's like it was like the third time she's done it, something like this before, about Google Docs and talking about other talent. Okay, I always look at how actors and actresses handle people that they don't like but have to work with. Okay, they don't talk about them in public. They put up with them to get that fucking money. After that, they never say anything to them again. Because bad press is just as valuable as good press in the entertainment industry. Look at it this way. All the bad press Cinder got helped her come back with pretty much the same amount of support that she had when they tried to cancel her. If Lily tries to cancel another VTuber, she's probably the one that's going to get canceled. And she won't be able to come back for that because people are going to just go, this is like the second or third time she's done this. Nope. Not putting up with this shit. Is for the health of the community. She is done. I mean, whatever her fucking name, it's going to last maybe a month. I mean, unless she pushes through and proves that she's changed, she's not going to. So, I know someone's going to bring up Silvervale. I will say this about Silvervale. She's a survivor. She survived V Shoujo. And that was like a traumatic experience, really. I do think she needs to get help, some therapy. I really do. And I think she'll be a much better person for it. I'm not saying she needs to make nice with anybody. Well, I'm saying for her own well-being, I think she would be better for it. And she will be a lot more comfortable if she's not already done it. Because the way she's behaving, it's acting like she had therapy with somebody. Because she's interacting with other VTubers a lot more than she did 2 years ago. But after V Shoujo crashed, she has so many connections. Who, Lily or Silvervale? Connections don't matter. If you become a toxic person non grata, it's about survival. You know, Errol Flynn had a lot of connections in Hollywood in the early 40s and through the 40s and 50s. When he was accused of having sex with a minor, which was later proven false that he didn't, Hollywood canceled him. Nobody wanted to work with him again because he became person non grata. Connections don't matter in the entertainment world. As long as you're like above board and you don't have a drama of a scale where something illegal happen, or it's like really, really bad. Like, oh, you're going around like saying slurs and shit like that constantly. During a game, you'll have slurs slip out, like what PewDiePie did. But if you're constantly saying slurs and stuff, yeah, you're going to get canceled for that shit. And I don't care about the color of your skin either, by the way. It doesn't matter if you're black and white. If you're saying fucking slurs, you're going to get canceled for it. Or Asian, whatever. You say slurs, you're going to get canceled for it. People are just going to go, I'm done. Hey, you want to clap? No. I'm good, buddy. I'm good. We can talk on Discord, but I'm not going to collab with you. Just saying. You got to remember, entertainment is survival. To stay on top, you got to survive. You know, it's maybe like me coming on here and having all porn, a bunch of porn tabs open. Oh, that's what he likes. I mean, how many people have been canceled because they had porn open on their web browser? You know, it's like, do you pay attention to what you have open? I mean, I can only have one tab open on this computer, so I'm not going to open up porn. Just saying. I'm always careful what I got open. I'm usually like what I'm going to be talking about is up there. And that's the reason why, like, I got filters on Twitter now that kind of black out some stuff. I got something. Excuse me. Oh, okay. Back. By the way, this is where a lot of the streams are going to be this week until I get my streaming computer back up and be able to play games, which reminds me, I wanted to test something out. I'm going to have to, now I'm going to need Discord open. I'm going to have to close YouTube. Bear with me for a minute. Let me move OBS over here. And chat stays behind. That's interesting. Let me see here. I'm loading up repo. And I want to see if I can, because you know me and my son collabs every Tuesday. We usually play a game. I want to see if repo will work while I'm streaming. Ooh, what's this? Close. Put that down there. Because if it doesn't work, I have to figure out what we can do for a collab. To be honest with you, it's still trying to load. Because I would have to play a little bit. I don't have no mods for repo now. Because obviously it's on the other computer, and I got rid of the mods because I don't know why my hard drive got corrupted on my streaming computer. It's a fucking mystery to me. But I mean, I can use that computer, but I can't do anything on that computer. I can't even play fucking Minecraft on that computer. Will Lily end up like, no. Bunny Girl did something really bad compared to what Lily. Lily hasn't done anything on that level. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Okay, hold on. Can you all see that? Just got a white screen. All right, hold on. Let me. just there it is. You can seem like you can play it. All right. The mouse seems smooth. Let's just play a little. Let's see how it streams. You know, like I said, I gotta find out if this game will work because I can't. The hard drive in this computer is not big enough even for me to put Phasmophobia on this thing. In game is smooth. The stream seems a little choppy. And you kind of tell me how it looks if you don't mind. Because I'm gonna just play one level here, just to get a sense of this. Oh God, I need to turn the light off. Yeah, this is one of those games you can't really play with the light on. Okay, there you are. No. No, we're just gonna pick you up. And just put you over here. Because you're big and bulky. There you are. Okay, hold on. I got a light right here, and it's a bad idea for have that light on. This is literally a game that you gotta play in the dark, by the way. I thought there was something else over here. I guess not. Nope. Okay. This is the only way we can go. Yeah, please. I mean, I'm not looking at chat right at the moment. Well, hold on. Let me do this. I could bring chat over here. Yeah, I've heard. You said that before, JJ. I can have chat on the same screen. Okay, that doesn't work. All right, I can't see chat and play the game. All right. Well, that's a bad fucking idea. Let me. Can't I minimize this? Can't minimize this? Can't minimize this? Oh, there, you know, okay, that's one way to get it back. Okay, we're gonna bring chat back over here. Let's put you over there so I can see you a little bit better. Okay. All right, there we are. All right. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh, you fucks. Oh fuck. You assholes. Oh dear. That's not good. It's not good at all. I can sort of see her. So I can see. Hate those fucking gnomes. That's not too much better either. There you are. Now I can see. Right. Jeez. They destroyed everything in here. Little shits. Yeah, we're not going over there yet. If this is the only game I can play, this is the only game I can play. You know what I'm saying? Alright. Better be something good over here, because I need at least 6,000. Yep. Don't see anything over there. Ooh, there's something right here. Don't drop it, 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 don't drop it. Motherfucker. God damn it. Son of a bitch. The fucking eye. God damn it. Barely touched it. Son of a bitch, you cocksucker. Right. Ooh, I love pushing. Shut up. Call it, break it. All right. Something over here somehow. Where? I don't see anything. Oh, there it is. There's a book. Fuck! That was unexpected. How much did I lose this time? Oh, surprised the love potion's still there. Oh, I got 9,000 still. Huh? Is there something up there? Oh. I dropped it. Alright. Yeah, I don't have unlimited money no more. Like I said, don't have that mod. Don't sound good, does it? Right, let's get out of here. It doesn't seem like there's anything in here. And we got 12,000 after losing like 2,000 earlier. Just be aware of what's coming up the stairs. Whoa, crazy bitch. The crazy ex-wife is here. Yeah, it's a little laggy. What happened to my PNG? It's right there. Okay, there he is. Don't know why it wasn't working. Does that mean it went away? Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh, it's coming back. She's coming back. Jeez, I thought she was coming back. Yep, there she is. She even looks like my ex-wife. Haha. So I could sort of play it. It's gonna be like, to me, it's smooth when I'm playing the game, which is the most important thing here. But for y'all, it's kind of like PowerPoint presentation type thing. So maybe like the best thing here would be for my collab with Zero is for him to stream it only, and for me to not stream the collab. He will just be on his channel of the game, which means I'll probably will need. Oh, seriously? Oh, fuck. I can't get that. I forgot. I don't have. What did I get? Reach and strength. Alright, whatever. And for him to stream it, and me probably doing like a chatting stream, maybe an hour or so beforehand, and do that instead. Because once again, it's gonna look really bad, and I don't like putting out the really choppy content on my channel. And let me bring you guys back over here. All right, and there's, huh? I just, what? Ow! I didn't know I could do that. Cool. There you are, Opera. Go back here. What is it? Oh, okay. I see. It's because Opera's loading up right now. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at as far as like me doing like, because Repo's the only game I could put on this computer, right? Because it's like, I think 2 gigabytes, and this has like a 5 gigabyte solid state. Yeah. So, okay, all right, good. Let's go to Twitter, I'm assuming. What was that? What was that? Let's cancel. There's that. Get rid of that. What's this? Yes. You should take in resources up. Okay. Let's exit Steam. All right. Okay. That's all good. I saw something. What was this? I don't know. I didn't want that. Okay. Let's get opera going up here. Let's get back to, oh, I was on the right thing. All right. You going to show up? Hello? Mr. Window Capture. Uh, why aren't you showing my window? Okay, there you are. All right. Hello? Okay, there it goes. Right there would be good. Oh, I got 2 notifications. Let's see what's going on. All right. Anything? Oh, yeah. Oh, please don't be bad news. Harrison Ford is like my favorite actor. Oh, okay. Cool. He didn't die. That's fine. All right. Listen and drone attacks on Israel and retaliation. Back on Israel and U.S. and U.S. conduct airstrikes. Okay. Oh, if you haven't seen this video here, really good video. I'm not gonna play it because I'm get in trouble for it. But the Bell's new music video, yeah, definitely watch it. Definitely watch it. It's really good. What to say here? Is there anything else I need to talk about? I don't think so. Really? Oh, this chat's reloading for some reason. I have no idea why that's reloading. Okay. So, oh, by the way, you guys like the new layouts? I mean, like the starting soon thing. Let's see, that's put there, or did I put there? Yeah, I have that, but I usually go with that typically. Scene 2. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they got the. You like this layout? This is stream elements. That's why I want to do that. Once again, spread the word. Deadline for all submissions is April 4th. This is for the Cinder Appreciation Day. Yes, I know I spell appreciation wrong. I'll fix that later. For the once again, send your emails or your texts or your voice message to btppresents@gmail.com. And I need it by April 4th so I can get a video done. That gives the editor a lot of time to do it. I only got 4. I would like to have at least 10, if not, and definitely more. I definitely want more. If you write a text message, either me, Lupoto, GVP, possibly Zero, will read them. And it will be in the video. And it will be written out on the video. Please, in your messages, let us know what you want to be called by. Wherever by your screen name or whatever. Just let us know what you want to be called by. Keep it clean. I'm not going to call anybody fuckboy, all right? But yeah, thank you so much for being here and just putting up with my stream. Tomorrow's stream, we'll be talking about Mass Effect 5. What are my thoughts on it? Why am I looking sort of like what we did today with Cyberpunk? Since tomorrow's supposed to be Mass Effect, and I can't play Mass Effect, so we're going to talk about Mass Effect. And then we'll go from there. Tuesday, I will let you know if I'm doing VTuber highlights. Because you saw how well playing videos went today. But I'll let you know about that. Yeah, and I got ending. But if you made it this far, thank you so much. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the notification bell so you get the community post about when I'm going to stream. And follow me on Twitter @StansOf to keep informed about Cinder Appreciation Day, especially when I replace the thumbnail with the correct spelling of appreciation. Spread the word. Deadline April 4th. I want to get as many submissions as I possibly can. I want to make this a very good video for Cinder and for the Power Pups. So please do that. If you want to support me financially, it's up to you. It's your choice. I got coffee, which you will find a link in the description. Also got a tip jar if you want to use that, if you prefer that. And I will see you tomorrow for a stream like this, talking about Mass Effect 5. Thank you for being here. And once again, just be good to each other. Bye.